Oh my god. It's yeah, dude.
How was that?
That rocked, man. I love it. That's
I'm
cool.
glad. Yeah, when I got that from the person that I commissioned it from, he asked me for like, I don't know, 18 or 19 different covers to work with for it.
Yeah,
And so I
definitely.
gave him like 19 of covers that I only backed, nothing outside of what I've backed.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So, and it's really odd because you only see about maybe 5 to 7 covers in there when he asked for like
It's so
19.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? When I was I'm working on an intro for my show. I got the song, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to come up with like a really cool intro. And that was one of the things. Is like part of what we do is look at campaigns and everything. And I thought, covers, like throwing covers at the audience while that
Right.
music's playing. But then I'm like, okay, do I have? I'd have to contact every creator, say, hey, can I use your cover? Can I use your cover? And I know most of them would be like cool with it and everything. But then after a while, those covers would be like old, and I'm thinking, what am I going to throw in there? I've got to figure something out for the intro.
Right.
Just like maybe I'll just throw on my thumbnail. I don't know, my thumbnail.
Yeah. I was
I'll throw
worried,
your
like,
book in there.
because I'm so used to like putting up the welcome,
Mhm.
cover overlay or whatever, and then like putting a song behind it. And you know how confusing that got for me.
Dude,
But
on mine, it's like I've got this awesome song and I got that cool image.
yeah.
But it's just static. It's just a static image. And it's like
Right.
it needs to at least vibrate or something. It needs energy because it's so bland. And I'm like, I'm working on it. Everybody's watching who ends up watching this. I'm working on it. I'm
Hell yeah.
trying. YouTube just
That's
came up
fair.
with an awesome tool that might help. Might help with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, we'll talk about it later. But that's something
Okay.
Stanley was mentioning yesterday. We got work to do. That's all I'm going
Oh,
to say. We got work to do.
that
Get
we
on
do.
top of
That we do.
this. So, what
But
are we talking about today? What are we looking at?
today we've got 2 books. One comes from yes, Mark Poulton as the writer, and then artist Chris Graves on Writhe and Payne.
Nice. This one looks freaking awesome. I did not back this one. I have not read this one.
Okay, so
It
I
does look
actually
like something I would have backed, but it's just financial reasons. This book, so I
no,
haven't
I
been able to
actually
back
really
it.
enjoyed this one. The action was there, the colors, the art. The art's perfect. Chris Graves is an excellent artist.
Dude.
And then, of
Yeah.
course, Mark Poulton, you know how he is with his writing and everything. But it
Wait, he's
was,
the one that's also working on Graveyard Shift, right?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
So,
I don't mind. I like his writing. I don't like.
no, it's fine. It's
I don't
good.
mind.
He knows how to make it flow and everything. It's just, you know how I am. I'm a stickler for those character moments between
Oh yeah.
relationships and stuff like that. You get a little bit of it, not a lot, but with how the story is introduced and how it progresses, you can see those moments take place and get captured. I just wish they lasted a little longer, but it was a good read. I enjoyed it. I would actually read this
No.
a couple more times just because there's so much in there that if you just do a quick read, you could miss.
Dude, that's
So,
awesome when you get a book that's like you're done reading it and you want to read it again to
yeah.
kind of like absorb more out of it.
Oh,
Mark
most
Poulton,
definitely.
I don't know if he did if he had anything to do with Godlike, but I know Graveyard Shift I've read several times, and just to kind of like make sure that I understand everything because some of it's fast paced, some of it's
Yeah.
like there's a lot going on, a lot of stuff to read, and I'm like, okay, what am I getting at? What's going on here? And so it helps to kind of reread some. It's amazing when you get a book that
Mhm.
you can reread. There are
Right.
books you read through And sometimes, unfortunately, in 10 minutes, and then you're like, I'm pretty sure I absorbed everything there is to absorb from this book.
Right.
So I have noticed.
Even if I misplace stuff and jump from one area to the next, like from the beginning to the end, back to the middle, and so forth,
Yeah.
there is a lot to take away from this book. And Writhe and Payne 2 is already in demand on Indiegogo. So
Okay.
after this, if you like what we tell you, go back it on Indiegogo.com.
I'm curious.
Writhe and Payne 2.
Because you know what? I'm gonna put the link here in the chat here in a second. But
Go for it.
Writhe and Payne definitely is looking pretty good, man. The artwork looks freaking badass, right?
Yeah, and we'll actually get into that. But so what the story is about is the Payne family, Payne, and Grace Payne and her father Sean Payne are the titular characters for this. So Grace Payne, she's a 17-year-old high school chick, and her father is a detective on the force, right? Now, the mother's side to the daughter, they're actually descendants of a coven of witches, right? So this is all about witchcraft and sorcery and dealing with demons and hell spawn, and it handles it really well. I really like the action. I like the coloring and everything. But what happens is that Grace has an I can't remember if it's an older sister or a younger sister, but she gets unalived, or at least they say that she's dead for the beginning of the story because it comes in later. And so Sean Payne, the detective, the trope of the father just diving into his work, so he doesn't really put any time into his family. He's so busy trying to solve the case because he believes the daughter that supposedly died is still alive. So he's just putting all of his time into trying to find the daughter that he lost. Any dad can understand that. We get that.
Yeah.
But it sacrifices time that he could have given to the mother and the daughter at the same time, because you'll find out that that Grace really holds it against her dad for being so distant when they needed him to be close at the most.
What's up? Corey Barton just showed up.
What's going on, Corey? Welcome to the show.
In this story, the a daughter dies, one child dies, and because the father is like distraught and everything, he's kind of distant and not there for the
mother or the other daughter.
Yeah, and that's like something that you could understand. You know what I mean? Like the pain, you know what I mean, somebody would go through from losing a child, especially if you have a child and you understand. Like, I totally see that happening. Like, man, I lost, and it's not like, oh yeah, well, I get that pain. That is a pain. Yeah. I could totally see happening. So that's cool. I like that. That's a cool.
So Writhe with that taking place,
is cool.
Writhe and Payne is cool. Yes, it is. Corey Barton, hang on, let me get up in here. Yes, Corey Barton, it's always good to have you in the chat, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us.
With us, keeping it lively. I like it. And Writhe and Payne has some sexy bitches in there for you too, buddy.
Dude, the artwork looks badass in this book, I gotta say.
Oh, it's got a great print. It's got a couple great prints. This is just one of them.
Yeah.
But so with the distraught father, both the mother and the daughter are feeling it. They're both being resentful, and it's almost like they're on the verge of the family breaking up. And so one night while he's out being a detective, before things take place, he's supposed to pick up his daughter at an after-school function and completely forgets. And so the wife calls because she's on her way to get her, and they have a back and forth. It doesn't end well. And while Grace is waiting for the mother to pick her up, some football varsity sleazeball comes up on her, who's with another crowd of chicks. So why he forces himself on her while she's on a park bench, I don't understand. But this unlocks her sorcery when she blasts him off of her. And then the mother shows up. She's like, what's going on with me? And then that's when the story unfolds of her telling that they are part of a coven from distance past. It's passed down through the generations. And things unfold. They take on some hellions, and the witch hunters are after her family, trying to kill them. Her father, or her father's side, her father used to be a witch hunter too on the side. So it's a witch hunter marries a witch. They get together and they flee to stay away from people because everybody hates that idea. And then just stuff unfolds, man. It snowballs.
What time period does this take place in?
This actually takes place in our timeline.
Okay.
Like 90s, 2000s, somewhere in there. There's cell phones and stuff like that. So it's definitely mid 2000s, whatever. But
what's up, Zombie Boy?
Zombie Boy, what's going on, brother?
Man, I'm like looking at this campaign. I know you got the book in front of you. I'm not sure if you wanted to like do the over the head thing, but I'm gonna pull up the campaign.
We always do that here,
just to show.
So I
got a campaign right here, and I'm gonna pull up some of this freaking awesome artwork before, like, get it while we're talking about it.
So we get way more than that in this book. Those are just like covers. When you actually get into the depth of the book, there's a lot going on. All right, we got the other half of the Orchard family. Here we go.
Oh, there he is. Hey, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Stanley?
My apologies for being late, dude. My family went like 7:52. The family decides I need to make a run to the grocery store to pick up laundry detergent.
Yeah, that's the way it always works.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime fathers and husbands have downtime to themselves,
can't happen.
Wife is always like,
not allowed to have that
shit.
Yeah,
and
man.
Then in total like Rachel fashion, Rachel's being total sass. I've got a new batch of wine coming out. And so I walk off with the bottle to come out here. She's like, no, wait. You don't get to like have wine with them and not me first. So I had to have like a drinking glass with her first. And we were like power shooting it out. Like she was taking her sip, which was, I poured it less, you know, and she goes to take her drink. And I was like pushing it up.
That's a cool hoodie. I like that hoodie.
Hell yeah. I've gotten multiple compliments from it already.
Nice.
There we go.
Well, right now we're talking about a book. It came out a while back. There's a part 2 to this book.
It's already in demand. Writhe and Payne part 2 is already in demand.
And we're looking at
the first one because we wanted to get it out there before the end of the in demand, just to get some more eyes on it if people haven't seen it yet. But we know this channel. If you're here, I'm pretty sure you've already heard of it. We're just giving 2 cents on it, and this is where we're at.
Yeah, and I'm kind of looking at the original campaign right now. I have, I'm like, this page right here is actually like pretty badass.
That in color is gnarly.
Yeah, and I want to see. You gonna show it? You got to show it.
Yeah, I'll show it.
Because there's a lot of I'm seeing like some tatas here. Nice.
Not bad. You know what? I got a lot of respect for those lips.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking the same thing. Like, lips are an interesting kind of not difficult, but when you understand like how to make appealing looking lips, I can draw unappealing looking lips, like deliberately I can draw them like deliberately unappealing,
making them look like standing out. That's not the easiest of tasks.
The best set of lips I've ever seen for art like this would be Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, but when it comes to comic books, Chaos Moon, I don't know if y'all remember that one. It was a book we looked at. I've actually got the originals, and then there's like a modern, like a campaign. I don't remember what they were promoting. It was weird. It was like they're going to put it all together in a trade or something. But the way they draw lips, that person was like actually one of my favorites when it comes to like juicy, supple lips. You know what I mean? Like glossy. They cake that lipstick on. I don't know, man. There's something cool about it.
Cake the lipstick. Is that what makes it? Caked
I
on
guess,
lipstick.
I guess, yeah. I mean, with comic books, yeah. Corey, you gotta every aspect of comics, right? Whether it be like there's a technique or a trick to everything in a comic, and lips, like girl lips in particular, there's a trick to it, man, to make them look like supple, like lips you want to fucking just start making out with. You know what I mean?
So whenever I hear the word supple, I immediately go to titties.
Okay, so maybe juicy.
There you
juicy.
No, I go to ghetto girls with that written on their ass and their
juicy booty. All right,
yeah,
all right. What would you call lips then? What would be a good
luscious?
Luscious. There you go. That's good.
There you
That's
go.
good. Yep. And the artwork in this book looks badass. I did not back it, and I'm kind of regretting it.
Hands, I'll make fun of Rob Liefeld like anybody else. The hands and feet can be tough.
Bow, buddy.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, Rob Liefeld could draw hands and feet just fine. Like,
he could.
No, I'm not saying he couldn't. He's the guy that gets made fun of. He gets made fun of for two things: the hands and feet, and for quitting on Marvel because of the whole rights thing.
I applaud him on that one. Good for you. Yeah. Like, I think he's absolutely right in that regard. He's Rob Liefeld. Come on, man. If for nothing else, just for the clout of having his name attached to something, give him credit. You know what I'm saying? Give him what he wants.
The Captain America cover with the big
I love that Captain America cover. I know that's like a thing he got teased on. Maybe I'm the only one, but I actually really liked it. I like that cover. It is the epitome of comic book. It's wrong in many ways, but then again, so is Sam Keith. You know what I mean? His anatomy is completely bonkers, but it's badass.
That's fair.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
I folded the book backwards so it'll stay open when I start flipping pages. Do we want to go to the book or do we want to stay on here?
Now, look at the book because I'm looking at the campaign and it's not the complete version. I want to see how it turned out.
So here we go. I already spoke about a bit of the story at the beginning. You guys just came in. Sorry. Go and rewind and watch the replay for the rest of it. And the new intro that we have, you're going to want to watch that too. But here we go. So let me blow up and we'll get right into the book.
Anytime now, Jake.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, just kidding.
All right.
Actually, Writhe and Payne 2, by the way, is in demand. So if this book, like Jake's showing right now, and this is definitely appealing.
Yes.
Go back it. And I'm sure I'm going to look right now. There's got to be a catch-up tier.
So those are those luscious lips that we were talking about.
Like face lips. Yes. There we go. Facial lips. Oh, there it is. He's got the reprint on the campaign, the second campaign.
And then here's the witch burning at the stake.
Yes, dude, the line work looked badass on that.
The color and that adds.
No AI here, man. Like, not to knock. Like yesterday, we were talking about the AI for a minute. That was good. That looked good. Whether or not it has AI, it's still questionable. I don't know. Right. And I'd like to get that guy on to defend himself if we're completely wrong.
Talk about it, because I'm sure there's a process.
Tell us what's going on with that. But this, 100%, like this is like straight up badass art.
Yeah, Chris Graves is the man. I absolutely love this.
Yeah.
I got to say, like, I'm loving seeing this, but I'm like pulling my hair out because of your lighting, and not knocking your lighting or anything, but you know how it is, like the reflection of the light on the page is like, oh my God, I want to see this. To be fair, I'm also mad because I have to have the dimmer on my phone really low because of battery issues we saw yesterday.
Yeah.
So I've got the dimmer plus the reflection of the light on the page, and I'm like also blind, and I am not seeing this in the way that I want to see it, like in hand.
You know what, Stanley? That means you need to back a book.
Yeah, you need anybody. If this is it,
I
you need to
kind
go
of feel like I will back a book. I will back a book, but I'm gonna say I'm kind of waiting for that special one to break the cherry on.
That's what? That's fair. That's going to be the book that Stanley backs. You know what I'm saying? So don't just do it for any old book.
Who's going to be the person to sell me on my very first backing?
Yeah, that's a good selling point. And this is actually one that I'm kicking myself for not backing because it looks badass. The artwork looks badass, and now I'm looking at this going, "Damn, dude." I remember wanting to back this and it was just kind of like, I just don't have the money. And that's the thing about all these crowdfunds. There's so many books out there you want to back, but which ones are the ones that are going to be like that you're kicking? There's some books I did not back that I wanted to, and I'm kind of like, I'm not hurt that I didn't back it. You know what I mean? I've seen it. And I'm like, okay, maybe I dodged a bullet there. But this is one that I'm kind of like, this is up there with Reaper Destroyer. I did back Reaper Destroyer, and I'm still waiting for Reaper Destroyer. But this is one that I am kicking myself for not backing.
I had some thoughts yesterday about investing in some Eric July work.
Well, wait until he has a $5 sale, because that's coming soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely win.
Okay. So this is where the story gets real juicy right here, because the 17-year-old daughter has already unlocked her powers, right? And when that happened, the mom picked her up from a bench on the street from a school after thing like cheerleading or something like that. Anyway, when they get home, the mother starts explaining the backstory of how from the mother's side, they're descendants of a coven of witches, right? And her father was actually a witch hunter, and the witch and the witch hunter fell in love and decided to escape to have their own life together.
Before you flip the page, don't flip the page yet. Who's that guy? Who's the guy?
That's her father, Sean Payne.
And that's her he's holding.
That's the mother, his wife.
Okay, I thought that was the daughter.
Love story.
No,
I know.
I'm like, wait, that's
that's a little.
Can we just say she aged well? She's doing her Pilates.
Right?
All right, so we got him right here holding what is his dead wife?
Yes, because the demons came in and they killed her because they're after her and the daughter and the book that they now possess. And so when the daughter unlocked her powers, you can see she's looking down at her father, but if you look at her face, she's not really
she's not
remorseful.
Upset. Those lips.
So
and what is she holding?
She's 17. I know. I'm kidding. I'm talking about the drawing.
Now, this is the surviving daughter. There's already a daughter that's died.
There's a daughter that's died that he has invested all of his time in trying to solve her case and find her because he believes she's alive, which made a rift break between him and his family. So they are very resentful towards him for being distant when he should have been even more close to them during the loss.
So this is an important moment.
You can see what she's holding right here. This is going to be a mask that he puts on. It's called the Suit of Sullen. And when she smashes that on her father's face, he becomes this big, huge behemoth of a monster.
How'd she get that, Matt? Do we know?
I don't remember. I think it's I don't recall.
Is it like a essential? Or
it's something that came along with the family or something.
Why would she put it on her dad's face if she's mad?
Because she hates him for how distant he's been. So both the mother and the daughter have called him out on it for being so distant. And
this is a punishment, then.
Yes, that's why it's called the Suit of Sullen.
Okay, nice.
So now she controls him.
Gertrude, is he speaking Italian?
And look, as soon as she does that in her anger, this is what I said it needed to like simmer a little bit more and be revealed in book 2. Just my opinion, okay? So
I like
not
these
really worth-
panels though.
it's not worth much, but yeah, these panels are awesome.
Dude,
the art is excellent.
Yeah, that's like effort in paneling is a lost art, man.
The shadow, like that shadow on that other one too.
Yeah,
that's love the contrast, the lines that creates the silhouette.
I like that it's got like the background. This is a solid book, dude. There's a lot of times where somebody would just leave that background blank and then throw some speed lines or something simple.
Right.
Or, that's a high contrast image, like his face and everything. You got the real darks, and he didn't feel the need to contrast that with the ultra light of the wall. He was confident enough in there being enough contrast, even though the shadow is there, which creates even other, like even new silhouette lines and everything. Like, that's just well done. That's a confident artist who did that.
You know what? I'll agree with Corey Barton. It looks like a Spawn comic, but there's one thing. This is actually better than the original Spawn run, and that's going to be the coloring.
Yeah.
Back then, they didn't have. I don't know. Maybe I'm not the best person, the most qualified to say this, but I would say, reading those old Spawn comics. Those old early image books, and this is back when digital coloring became a thing. Coloring hadn't quite met its peak yet, or whatever. So there's a lot of odd coloring in old image books where they don't pick a color scheme per se, and that's where this rocks. Not to say that those old Spawn comics don't have good coloring. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, it's not refined to an art like this is. This is very well done. The coloring is awesome.
So let's continue, because as soon as she puts the mask on for hating him and wanting to keep him in torment for the rest of his life, immediately after, she's somehow able to read his thoughts. So I think she's only able to do that after he puts on the mask, and it's unveiled how he's been devoting all of his time to trying to find the daughter that everybody thought died, because he believes she's alive. So you see him going through all the motions of how much he cared for his family and both his daughters, and how he felt like a real family man. And then when he lost the one daughter, it shattered the rest of his world.
So she understands more about him now that she put that mask on him.
Right. And now she says, I had no idea. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's actually a beautiful moment.
An apology from a daughter?
After trying to punish him. Yeah.
Right?
So, that's good. That's really good, actually.
I've said it. Character moments like that kill. Those type of moments bring the readers back.
You do not see that often.
You have. Unless you have those character moments, it's going to fall flat. So keep them coming. Great job.
That's a good point.
Wholeheartedly agree.
I agree with that.
It didn't go off on weird rails, it was a human moment, and it wasn't like we needed to maintain this character, so she's going to be a shithead about it. There was an actual, like a little hint of remorse in there. There was some emotion and feelings. Very natural, very relatable. Well done.
Now, I'm curious. She did this to kind of punish him because she's angry. And then she sees the truth. And now she's sorry. She regrets putting that thing on him because maybe what that did was something she can't take back. Right. Now that she understands. That's a thing that a lot of children don't understand when it comes to their parents. That maybe their parents are doing things for reasons that they are not aware of.
Know a bit more, maybe, because they've been around longer.
Yeah, and so by doing something rash like that, only to come to grips with understanding, now they're like, oh shit, maybe I just condemned my father to something and I wasn't completely aware of everything that was going on.
I feel like there's some pent-up hostility here, Peter.
Y'all listening, my kids, my daughters, are y'all listening to me right now? Never mind. I'm just kidding.
So they make
their room is 10 feet away from him.
My kids are awesome.
They make a burial ground for the mother and they leave because they're about to start a war against the demons that did this.
Ooh, father and daughter war.
Yeah, team up.
Dude, that's
I
Daddy
like
Daughter
it.
Day 10x.
Yes, and superpowers. I love it.
Yeah.
So they go right to a strip club and they're looking for answers because somehow,
Daddy Daughter Day just took an entirely different spin.
Yeah, I'm not taking my kids to a strip club, but
somehow
we have superpowers now. We're gonna take over the world. Where do we go first?
I admire the attempt.
Because whenever I think of witchcraft and sorcery and demons, I immediately think stripper club.
Oh, of course.
If you've ever been to one in Corpus.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, dude.
Well, we got a nice raunchy one here in Nashville. Don't you worry.
Oh, you got the best in Nashville.
So they're out there. They're trying to get questions answered. The guys put up a fight. They said, fuck that. So Big Daddy Behemoth comes in. He starts wrecking shit. Yeah, it's actually a really nice show. Ripping shit
I think
off.
I know my Halloween costume for this year.
Yeah, no shit, right? That looks badass. And if you look at some of the other cover art, it's like it gets better. It looks even cooler. I'm assuming there's some progression with his costume because what I saw didn't look quite like this.
Right. So hold your horses, man. You're getting ahead.
Oh, my bad. That's some Todd McFarlane inspiration right there on the right. That character, that face, that dude's face with the eyes, that's a Todd McFarlane eye right there.
So they leave. They don't really get any answers from the strip club, so they move on to another spot.
Does anyone ever?
They're going into a church.
Yes, they do.
And when they enter the church, she's feeling remorseful for some reason. And in that instant, the mask falls off.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I like this.
No, that's like alluding to...
Yeah.
Hold on, before you keep going, the Don showed up. What's up, Don? He's saying, not only is Mark Poulton's writing on point, Chris Graves is the perfect choice for a story like this. His style is a great blend of Capullo and McFarlane. Highly recommend. I completely agree. Yes, the artwork in this book is some of the best that I've seen in an indie campaign. This is pro stuff right here.
Yeah, I don't see indie out of any of this.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I don't see indie out of this.
Coloring level.
The story, everything so far, this should be on shelves. Not to say that that's like, and when I say it should be on shelves, I'm saying this is something that everybody should be reading.
Yeah.
Not just like underground.
Like it's going to be on shelves, and anybody who got in on this got in on the groundwork of something that has not fully evolved to its potential.
The problem with the what's happening now is on shelves means that nobody's going to read it because like nobody goes to comic book stores. What shelves are we talking? So
that's like the brick and mortar.
It also means that they're not going to get as much money. Crowdfunding they'll get way more money just crowdfunding to an audience, their audience. Then maybe they can't brag that they're on shelves, but you could. Dude, this is something that everybody should be aware of.
Yeah. So the mask comes off. The father and daughter embrace for a loving moment. She says she's sorry about everything, and then here comes the priest, who's actually a demon, and because of I'm guessing from the remorsefulness and the forgiveness, her powers seem to double over because that's not the same outfit she had at the beginning.
Is that
she
didn't have that thing on her face?
That's his daughter.
That's the daughter.
Okay.
And so here come the Hellions to take her out.
Hold on, go back. Sorry.
This here is the backstory for the priest and how he got his powers. So he liked D&D. He got picked on, and even his friends the friends that played D&D with him picked on him. And so he was like, "Well, I'm gonna fuck you guys up."
That is such a creepy. I like it. Oh man, I'm getting so much McFarlane out of this. I love it.
Expressive.
Yes.
because that takes place, father wants to protect his daughter, so he willingly puts the mask back on. And when he willingly does that, that's when we get the Omega look.
Nice. I like this.
There we go. Yes, that's that look that I'm talking. That's the cosplay right there, dude.
Right. Yeah, this book is really good.
Dude, oh man. All right. When I get paid, I hope this book is in demand for a bit longer because I want to get both of these. Yes. This is the book that this is like a book that I'm looking for. This is what everybody needs to be aware of.
Look at that.
Dude, and it's like when I remember looking at this going like, it looks like Spawn.
You don't even need to say it.
This is actually like the story that you're telling me right now. This is borderline better than Spawn. Spawn had like its trope, and for its time, it was brilliant. And so it's not a knock on Spawn at all. But
Sure.
like modern times, you can't just do another Ghost Rider, which is what Spawn was. You got to do something original and creative, or unique, interesting, appealing, intriguing, whatever. This is it, dude. This is it. Yeah, man.
See, this is the culmination of great storytelling and great artistry.
Yeah, this is great.
This is what everybody aspires to have for their book, and only a few are able to attain it.
No shit. I want to know who he had. Did he have help? Right, it's Mark Poulton. Mark Poulton.
Nobody else is credited for writing it. Only Mark Poulton, and there's no editor either. So
I've never seen a Mark Poulton book that I didn't like. In my opinion, very underrated because he should be up there as like one of the top writers in CG.
But yeah, so it ends here, and then the rest of the book is just the cover pages, posters. So
and this artwork too, man. Who's the artist on this again?
Now here's the cliffhanger. Rose is alive.
Who's Rose? The daughter?
The daughter that they thought was dead.
Oh, and but she's got horns. So she's not. Is she alive or is she unalive?
That is to be continued.
Oh man, and she's evil. So the dad's been doing all this. That poor dad. You know what? Can you imagine having daughters doing this shit to you? The gray you're gonna get from that.
Yep.
And then you got to put on this mask and everything. Now, I don't have any grays because my daughter's rock, and I don't have to deal with that kind of shit.
No, to be fair, this is all from the wife, not the daughter.
That is fair. That's actually more accurate.
But yeah, dude, congratulations, dude. That's a great story, and I'm like excited for this next book.
That's well done.
That was Writhe and Payne book 1. Book 2 is in demand on Indiegogo.com.
Which I'm going to post. I'm posting that in the chat right now. This is the link to Writhe and Payne 2 on Indiegogo. Go check it out. If you missed out on the first one, he's got a link, or he's got a perk for the first one.
For real, this is top tier. Can easily give Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse a very real run for their money.
No shit, dude.
Yep.
The Image has got a lot of fluff, like half-ass stories these days. Marvel is like, and DC is like, hit or miss. But this is,
dude, Chris Graves is here, and you just fucking missed it.
Oh, dude! Oh, seriously? No shit, dude, man.
Good book.
Yeah, amazing book. You just missed all the fluff, and I'm not gonna just go over it all again. Great book.
No,
we said all the nice things. Now we're going to talk a bunch of shit. We spent 30 minutes saying nice things.
Now that you're here, I got a problem with. No, just kidding. I don't have any problems with this book.
Yeah, it was good. Great. Well done.
I'm looking at getting both in your current campaign. When is it going to close? Because I need to know how much time I have to save. Money's super tight these days. So,
and do you have anything to say? Like, we're looking at the book. Do you have anything to add to the conversation? You have anything that you want to add some final points?
You can rewind the fluff.
I'll rewind to get the fluff. It's some good fluff. But
It's great
all
fluff,
right,
dude.
Chris
This
Graves,
is a
God
badass
damn it.
book.
See, the thing is when you look at the banner, I put it in order of how we're going to do it. I do the most known book first, and then the lesser known book second, right? Because that's kind of like how you want to do it. I don't know why he just disappeared, but okay.
He's getting ready.
Paulie's Arts.
I'll be right
good.
back. I just got to go to somewhere real quick.
The wife goals.
But yeah, we were really pleased with Writhe and Payne. I like the story. I like the aspect of it. I love the father-daughter dynamic. It's not one that you see in most any book, really. You always see the angsty teenager go against the parents and stuff like that. You never really see a team up, and I thought that was a pretty cool twist.
It was the ultimate daddy-daughter day. Made that comment earlier, and that was awesome.
He said, "Plenty of time. We'll put it when the art's done." All right, cool.
I respect that.
All right. So the second book that we're going to get into now is by Chad Townsend. And Chad Townsend came out with a book a while back called Black Phantom. Okay. So Black Phantom takes place during I guess the 1940s, because that's when Nazis were around. And we know how much much Comicsgate and the adjacent love their fucking Nazis in these books.
Yeah.
This was ultimate villain. This book, I feel like it came out around the time that there was a couple of other books dealing with Nazis.
Jude X dealt with Nazis. Black Phantom deals with Nazis.
You know who else deals with Nazis? Indiana Jones. You gonna argue Indiana Jones?
That's
shit,
true.
there was another book I just read that had to deal with
Nazis. Not the last two, but the other ones. You gonna argue with the other Indiana Jones?
It's like, remember when movies used to come out and it was like, oh, they're making a movie about a comet or a meteor hitting the Earth. We got to make a movie about a meteor hitting the Earth. Or we got the end of the world storm coming. We got to make an end of the world
meteor. Nazi meteor.
You're most welcome, Nazi sir. Meteor. You're welcome back on the show anytime you want to. Just
man.
Put a heads up.
Anytime. That was an awesome looking book.
Yeah, I'd like to chat, actually. I would like to talk.
Yeah.
And Chris is the artist.
Chris Graves is the artist.
Dude, holy shit, man. Yeah. That's like one of the best looking books I've seen yet.
What up, Ink Spots?
What's up, Ink?
Okay. So Black Phantom is from Chad Townsend. You can find him on Twitter, of course. And I actually love the cover of this book. It's that holographic type foil.
Yeah. And also I'm going to share, because I got the campaign pulled up. I'm going to share this because
you took care of this book.
This is one of the cooler covers I've seen in the book.
So you pull up that.
I got to pull
through that before we actually dive into the book.
Yeah. So this is the cover. This is a really cool looking cover.
So the story goes from out the gate that this character, Black Phantom, should be dead. Okay. He's had many faces over the course of his lifespan. I don't know how long he's been around. It doesn't give you that information, but just know he because it's so cool. It reminds me of Reanimated Shredder from the original Image TMNT run. I mean, not Image, Mirage TMNT run, because when Shredder died, he came back from a pool of worms as his body, right? So Black Phantom kind of gives a nod to that. In my opinion, I don't know if that's where it was pulled from, but his whole body is just crawling with worms. Okay.
Yeah, and the movie kind of glossed over that.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's
Deadpool.
Kind of a twist on, well, the character himself gives me a twist of like Taskmaster and Daredevil. It feels like it's a combination of those two.
Oh, I picked up. I was thinking Deadpool, but instead of him regenerating, he's got the worms thing. They do emphasize the worms, or who's that in Hellboy? Who's the guy who's made of sand, except with worms?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forget his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but it's been a minute. It's been like 10
It wasn't
years.
important enough because he
He's like one of
himself
the
anyway.
Well, he's like a big character. He's a big villain in the series, especially in the movie.
Not in the movie.
He was in the first movie. He was like the main.
Yeah,
one of
I know.
The main assassins.
He welded the bladed tonfas. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and he was a cool character. But imagine worms instead of sand, and instead of him being like quiet, he's like Daredevil.
Right.
I'm not Daredevil. He's like Deadpool.
So anyway, the title of this one is called Rocket's Red Glare, and on the very first page, he's on what do you call it? He's on the military base, and he's talking to like a major or a general or somebody that are going to send him out into Nazi territory to attain a radio that'll help defeat the signals of nuke bombs.
V2 rockets. The V2 rockets.
That are about
Nazis
to be,
were developing the V2 rockets, and it was his mission to go find the radio signal so they can disrupt those rockets because they're wreaking havoc.
So he goes out on that mission.
Yeah.
And things unfold. And yeah, we'll get into the book after that. Take a look at these, and then we'll get into the actual.
Yeah, you can pull up the book. I will say, as far as the campaign goes, this book looked really cool. It looked interesting. I wanted to back it. However, now I've read it, I'm kind of thinking, I don't know about Squid Kid or Kid Squid. $25, you get 2 books. That's actually a fair price. They're both floppies.
Well, I actually got Kid Squid with Black Phantom. I haven't read it. I just wanted it to be about Black Phantom. So
yeah, the whole thing was about Black Phantom, but Kid Squid is like the other book that came with it.
Yes,
and that's fair. Like $25 for 2 books. You're supporting a creator. That's actually a pretty fair price. And
what I understand is that these series that Chad Townsend presents are actually like for kids. Because like I told you in the back room, it's very simplistic writing style, but the art is excellent.
The artwork is pretty cool.
I love the artwork.
It's fun to look at.
I love the sharpness. It reminds me of kind of a sharper looking Teen Titans, 2003 Teen Titans.
Yeah. The artwork looks cool. I had a few, I wouldn't say issues. They're nitpicky pet peeves. That's
what we do
with the story. I had like with a few things with the interior. I saw this cover and I was like, oh, this looks pretty freaking awesome. Like this is actually a really cool cover, and I had no idea throughout this whole campaign that this even took place during World War II, and that's one of the things that I had an issue with. It feels like this story had a lot of genre mishmashes that didn't completely work. This is a cool looking character, a very badass design character. I like the art style. I like everything. The weird thing about it is that it's about fighting Nazis. Like when I think of fighting Nazis, I don't think of this kind of character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
to be honest, what really genre does Deadpool fit into unless you make that genre fit around Deadpool?
Now imagine Deadpool fighting Nazis.
I could see it
in the 40s. What kind of quips? It makes sense in the 90s if he's making modern quips, right? Like he's like, I'm gonna. But in the 40s,
hold on. In Aladdin, Robin Williams' genie makes a lot of 90s references for old,
I would agree. I would argue though it's not
an anachronism and not.
It's not like a historical. Now, granted, this comic doesn't have to be a historical take or anything like that, but you do have to contend with the idea that readers, it might not work. It works with Aladdin because it's Robin Williams and there's kids don't know or care about it. And I don't know. That's a good point you made.
Good. My thought on that is, if you're gonna, is it breaking the fourth wall kind of jokes?
No,
I'm assuming this is targeted at kids because,
and that's fine. So, okay, I will delete out of my brain because it's kind of oriented towards kids.
sure.
I'll delete all of the modern inaccurate, whatever, like the modern phraseologies of stuff that doesn't fit in the time period for me.
Sure.
I'll delete that out.
That's fine.
But then there's like cussing and stuff, which takes it out of that realm.
There's two words that should not appear if it's going to be a kid's book, and that's bitch, and I think the other one's ass.
And then there's like the F words muffled, and so it's a young adult. Maybe not for kids. Young adult, it kind of works.
So preteen.
Preteen, it works in that regards. Yeah, it does.
It's like PG-13. You get that one word in, but PG.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Like, pick one.
Yeah. And also, now to be fair here, there is a point where it stops being a Nazi punching book, and then turns into what it's obviously meant to be.
Yeah.
And so the only reason I even have any of these pet peeves is because Nazis is just an odd, like, this is a cool looking character. Yes, I feel like I want to see this character fighting, I don't know, Bill Clinton or something, or Hillary Clinton. I don't really care to see him fight like Nazis. It's just weird. It's weird. It's an odd take for a character. But you know what? Maybe he's got a much bigger picture I'm not aware of.
Do we want to dive into the book and see what you say?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen. You start sharing yours because...
okay, here we go.
It is a cool book. It's a fun read.
All right. So the whole book is not in color, which I wish they stayed with color because I love this. I love the shading on Black Phantom right here.
Yeah.
I think this is a really good shot.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like I said, we see him talking to one of the piss ants, and then talking to like a major or general. And right out the gate, they tell us that he gets his powers from this key. This key is what allows him to live as long as he does and allows the worms to wiggle through his body and let him live as long as he has. I would have kept that reveal somewhere in like at the end of the issue or issue 2, just because you could have made that more of a dynamic
storytelling aspect.
Plot piece.
It's kind of thrown in there on this page.
Right. So anyway, he's talking to the general, and he's like, hey, we got this mission for you. We need you to go get some information, steal a radio signal, bring it back to us so we can stop these bombs from being dropped. And he's like, all right, I'll go with it.
There's some narration. It's a little jarring with the difference between narration and storytelling and what's going on here.
So this blueprint feels like it was taken right from Google image, but I don't really care. It's fine.
Well, I was thinking it feels like it was taken from maybe Google image or maybe some artist rendition of like the I don't know. I felt like this was like legit. Like
how it feels out of place in that one panel. And one of the things I am really enjoying so far is the paneling. But my personal approach on this would have been to do a full spread of that blueprint and have all these other panels around it.
Oh, do some artistic.
And I don't know. I don't even see the second page, so I don't even know. Like, we might be jumping so fast through the story that makes it like, holds it back. I could be wrong on that.
The way he does paneling works with this art style, but I do kind of wish it was a little bit more creative. The paneling is to me like real like standard generic, but it does work with the art style.
He does stuff like on that first page. He had the key as part of the panel line, which is kind of cool. I like that. It brings it to the forefront. And then on the very first panel, he had him standing on that little island, like separate from everything else in the world. It was all about the conversation. I like that. I do like that. I don't know that it needed a panel box for that, but I
feel like it needed a more artistic license. But I gotta say, it's a manga thing. where you go the first couple pages in color, and then you jump into black and gray.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I wish it would have stayed in color because
Me too.
I like I said, I love the shading and the coloring that he's doing.
I didn't
Yeah, it
realize
looks
that
good.
that he goes into the black. So I understand then why he didn't have the. Even then, the blueprint could have taken up the whole page and then have those what is it, 2 panels?
It would have worked
That
really
just
good
have
as
those around.
manga, but I feel like the paneling could have been a little more artistic. Not to say that it
Yeah.
doesn't work, but the storytelling is a little bit jarring. Like this panel right here with the guy's head gets cut off. I was questioning, is that the guy, like our main character? This is like a
No,
historical
that's the Nazi, and
that
then
he's like taking the shape shifting of.
yeah.
But I had to
So
read that a couple times because I was like, wait a minute, is that him? Because he at this moment he's explaining how I thought he was explaining how he got his powers, but apparently he's already got his powers. He's explaining how I guess this story starts.
he can assume the identity of the dead. So the guy that he just killed, he now takes on his form. So you can see that what he's regularly going with right now is that he is a black guy. So that's Spawn.
He can take the form of the dead, is how
Yeah.
it's stated in the
It
comics.
sucks if he just cuts off their legs and they're like laying there dying. He's like, I kind of need you to finish dying here.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
That would've
could
been
just
funny,
die
actually.
already so I can take your form. That's an interesting actually that like Von Coleman talking about his book where if he's running lightning speed and then he shoots a lightning bolt, does he get smacked in the face? This is the same kind of question right here. It's important. If he can take the shape of the dead, can he take the shape of the soon to be dead? They cut the dude.
And what happens if the dead? I know these are stupid questions, but it makes me curious. If somebody dies, like say they're in a hospital, he's like right there, a hospital bed. Somebody dies. He takes their form, and then they resuscitate him. Does he lose the form?
I know. I think he could still take it. From what I got, the vibe was the dead means like if they died, he can take their form.
Okay, and then they can come back, and we're good. Yeah,
but if he can take,
this is pretty good artwork right here. I like the lighting and the shading. And
I like this villain.
This
I like how it's expressive. The expressive faces.
This villain, I gotta admit, I like this villain and how fucking disturbing and creepy this villain is.
That's like the kid from Tin City, the one that's all yellow.
Yes. He does. He gives off like I've already got the voice for him in my head. Like, yes, we've been waiting for you. We've been watching you for some time now. Like, now you've just stumbled into our clutches. Like, he definitely has like Nazi yellow bastard vibes.
Yes.
See, this would have been so much better in color.
Dude, I like this double page because that is where this paneling totally works.
Yep, right. I agree.
But yeah, color would have been so much cooler. Like this would have been so cool. But it is.
Hey, it would have been. But you know what? That is some fantastic. Like just even in gray tones, that's very well done.
He did it.
He did the vampire. Color. Yeah,
Nazi vampire.
Yeah. This is okay. He's a vampire Nazi. It's alluding to what's coming here later in the story. Like there's something more than just Nazis here.
There always is,
which is fun. This would be a really cool manga. Like that's not a manga. It's not manga style, but I could see this in like that small, book format. And I do like that he's doing, the gray tones with the color.
I do too. I like that. It stands out.
I kind of wish he had. This is also what do you call it? It's a flashback. So it does.
We're showing the action.
No, this is a flashback. I'm pretty sure this is the flashback.
So he gets shot here.
Oh no, you're right. I think maybe it's not
a flashback. Put down, and I love this shot. Knees down, ass up.
That's the Deadpool shit that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Does it work with Nazis? I don't know if Deadpool works with Nazis. It should. It should definitely work. Maybe he needs to ham it up more.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, actually.
So he picks up the statue head, throws it at the guy, pushes the red button. Funny. It opens the secret door, and there he finds the missile silo.
That confused me, though. Go top left page. Storytelling. Okay, he's on the ground. He picks up a statue head. Okay, I guess there's a statue head on the ground. Okay, boom, knocks the guy out. But then this next panel, he's just smacking a pillar. I didn't realize there was a button there. Like I see that there's a button under his hand, but it's like a jarring storytelling. Right. I did not realize since down here I have to just realize there's a button there and that's opening the door. Okay. But yeah, maybe I'm an asshole.
I see where you're coming from on that, but I'll accept it because of that last panel. Like that does explain it.
It explains it, but it's like
it explains it after the fact, which is weird.
It's ham-fisted, yeah. It's like it's after the fact, but I guess it's not important. So he should have just like pushed a button on the wall or something silly. I don't know.
To try and give a little bit more grace to Chad Townsend, there's not an editor credited on this book. This is just him. So
yeah, I got respect for that.
Moving a little bit from that, I understand because my first book didn't have an editor, so I got one for the second one because everybody told me I needed an editor. So yeah, always invest in an editor.
It's important.
Guys.
You got to get editors, and even if it's like you just want to hand it to like 10 friends that you respect,
just run it through us here. Let us like do our thing with what we're doing.
Dude, send me your stories. I will do this. When I have the time, I can't promise I have the time, but if I have the time,
we'll do it on a live stream.
I will go through your book and tell you everything that I think is wrong with it. You can take or leave it, and it's not going to hurt my feelings. But I mean, you can credit me if you want to as an editor. But yeah, definitely, if you want to find an editor and hire an editor, a good editor that's not your friend, and pay him money to tell you what you need to fix, that is a thing that needs to happen more.
So we find out here that the Nazis are working with aliens.
Go up, because this was another confusing ass thing for me. When I was reading this, I saw he just stumbled into the rocket lair. But then I'm seeing, and it might be because the picture that I was reading was sideways, so it was really fucking hard. My neck was sort of cramping. You scroll down. He's found the rocket lair, clank, and then I see his foot, and I was thinking he was stepping on like glass or I'm looking at a reflection off the floor. It's like a weird panel with that foot on that can or something, and there's aliens all of a sudden.
So what you're saying is that you should have switched these up. Have the foot hit first and then do clank.
No, I'm thinking the way that panel looks is like, from the perspective I was looking at, it looked like he was stepping on a photograph and he was about to uncover some photographic evidence of something. But then I'm like, oh no, they're actually there in front of him. It's just a weird, I don't know, something about the storytelling aspect of it. But then I instantly caught on with this panel you're showing. And I'm like, oh, now we got like some really cool looking shit happening. And it takes it out of Nazis. It takes it out of that time period completely. And it does get interesting. And I do like this. And the artwork is badass for this next segment here. But it does kind of take it completely out of the realm of Nazis and World War II. And it fits more with the character, the storytelling, the whole style that's going on. This works better than the whole Nazi aspect.
I really like this forearm reptilian.
Yeah, dude. That looks fucking cool.
I like the panel preceding it. Just before, like, that's all good. Everything good here. That one right there. His face, you got the expressive line. Simple, high contrast, comical. I like the way that it covers the next panel just a little bit. Like the panel, the way that they did that.
And I love that.
I like the delivery.
I like the angles. I like the positioning.
I like the angles.
Yeah, that looks badass. What's up, Mo Biggs? Mo Biggs just showed up. Hail the chat. They call me Crack Phantom Bow. What's up, Mo Biggs? We're looking at Black Phantom.
So yeah, he gets nailed. He keeps getting nailed by the reptile. He's like, "Is that all you got? Your breath stinks." Takes his sword, flips it, gets it out of there, and then just headbutts the reptile.
Okay,
he gets
that's
pissed,
what that was.
Rips his fucking limb off.
Oh, yeah. The limb ripping. I remember that part.
Oh, please tell me he beats him with it.
No, that you got to read Transformers for that. That's Transformers.
So he gets pissed off that he ripped his arm off.
Okay, this panel right here. That's funny, but all of a sudden that forearm guy seems to me to have grown 5 times as big.
I'm all right with that. It's expressive. Like it gives like some insight into like what he's up against. It's the
was he that big?
I don't know if he was. I don't think it matters because it's kind of like in that moment in his mind he's that big.
Okay.
But anyway, you see the arm laying right there next to Black Phantom. He grabs his own arm and starts beating the shit out of the reptile.
I like that twist.
I feel like this guy's getting bigger and bigger, man. This monster guy. All right. But at this point, they have explained that he is filled with worms.
Yeah.
I do like that he's like his blood is purple and the bad guys is red.
Yeah, I like the minimalist use of color on that. That's actually like confident in your artwork.
I feel like it would have been better in color, but the fact that he did stick with just these basic, okay, purple's him, red is bad guy, it makes it easy to follow. And honestly, it's not like it takes away no color. It's not like it takes away from the story. You don't need the color to enhance the story here.
Yeah.
Don't tear my arm off, bitch.
Yeah. Young adult. This is not for kids, young adults.
Okay.
But it wasn't necessary. Like he didn't have to say bitch on that. He can just say don't tear my arm off.
So right here, that bad guy just shrunk down again.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all right with the proportion.
All right. It's expressive. Let's just call it that.
I see what you're saying.
Worms. So it's not really blood, it's worms.
That's horrific.
Interesting. He does explain that like you don't know what you're dealing with when it comes to trying to like the Nazis were trying to capture him so that they can utilize his powers. He's like, you don't know what you're dealing with. I got fucking worms, bitch. Like I'm a worm. I'm filled with worms. And then he gets the launch codes.
I like the little jokes in there. What are they feeding you?
Yeah. Which is kind of that's actually they're funny jokes.
Yeah,
they're great.
You're not wrong, Mo. You're not wrong.
What did he say?
He said my arm off just doesn't pack enough punch.
Well, yeah. And now when it comes to like the jibes and shit, when I'm thinking Nazis, I don't think I'm thinking Indiana Jones jokes. I'm not thinking like smile bitches, because that's not what did smile say cheese like for the camera? When did say cheese even become a thing? Like I know there's jokes in here that are way like the jokes are they don't match the timeline. Those are like 90s jokes.
Well, give me a 1940s joke that you know, Peter.
That's
I was going to make that comment earlier. It's because, like, when I was talking about breaking the fourth wall, I appreciate remaining in the time frame. But if he was to break the fourth wall with 40 jokes, that would probably be really funny. But it would go right the fuck over my head.
It would. Okay, for one, it would definitely make it more Deadpool, but it might actually tie in better by doing that. You know what I mean? Breaking that fourth
Yeah.
wall means, okay,
Well,
he's
and it doesn't
timeless.
it doesn't have to be actually breaking the fourth wall. It's just like the point being that if he made some really solid, really funny jokes that were appropriate for the time, they might be super funny. Like you can make those things that are just like absolutely hilarious. Doesn't mean like I'm going to get it. It's going to go right over my head.
I do love that chromium cover. That
Yeah.
Mo Big says cheese started around World War II, so it works. All right.
I thought the same.
You know what? I'll accept that because I don't fucking know. It just, that
sounds like something Grandpa'd be saying.
Yeah, maybe.
So I personally, I did not enjoy it. I just wish there was more storytelling to it.
I gotta say, I read that book really fast. There was not a lot of dialogue.
It was a quick read.
The story was, okay. I don't have a problem with not knowing how he got his powers or anything like that. I honestly don't really know or care because of the way the story was told. It's like, okay, this is not something you really need to know or care. It doesn't matter. There's a few weird disconnects with the time period. I feel like this might have been better in a modern time period, right?
I don't know if Nazis were necessary, so it works.
Yeah. And it's fine if that's the case. I just feel like the time period, I wonder why he chose that time period. Because I don't know if that is.
I would be curious to see where it goes from there. However, here's a disconnect that kind of caught my attention. So I am totally cool with the black and white. I appreciate the expressive, I appreciate the minimalistic use of color. Like they use color, but they kept it minimal. I have like an affiliation for that style. But if I am looking at a comic book that has that cover with that chrome thing, I'm expecting an investment in like the full color thing. I almost feel like the chrome, as cool as it is, the cover being all chromed out like that with the holographic stuff, it doesn't match the tone of the artwork on the inside being so minimalist.
I agree. If you're going all out with that chromium cover, why not go full color throughout the book? I understand.
Or don't do that chrome color. As cool as it is.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's the key there. Because when it comes to mangas or whatever, it makes sense. I have some mangas that are like comic book, not the graphic manga books. I'm talking about the comic books. That's like a page or two that's in color, covers in color, but the rest of it's black and white. That works. Right. It's a newsprint. Once it hits the newsprint, it's in black and white. But you don't go full chromium with a black and white.
Yeah.
And it's not even black and white. It's minimalist. Like there is color.
To be fair, Mo Biggs,
you probably chose that time period as an excuse not to have to pay for colorist.
Good for you.
You know what? If that's the case, I respect that.
Now, manga.
And like 6 different pronunciations.
Bro. I'm like, I had a long day. So, I'll say it 10 more times.
Both Writhe and Payne, I would definitely back book 2. It's up on In Demand right now.
Definitely Writhe and Payne.
With Black Phantom, I would actually give it a second chance.
So check it out.
For Holy Terror.
Holy Terror is coming up. He's in sign up right now. Now, everything I've had to say.
Holy Terror has now launched.
Oh, has it? I thought it was just in sign up. So I'm not. When I'm talking, I'm not against this book. This book looks fun. It looks cool.
Yeah,
it was good.
The only thing I have to say is the Nazi aspect. Once you got into the aliens and shit, I'm like, now we're talking, bro. I want to see some fucking aliens and four-armed monsters and beating the shit out of each other all day and night. The Nazi thing was a little weird. It'd be kind of cool to see his origin story. I mean, we'll get to that eventually.
Maybe, but this also makes it to where because of how his outfit is and it stands out from that time period.
Yes.
He can go anywhere he wants.
You know what's interesting
True.
about this costume?
I was thinking that too.
This costume is almost exactly like a costume I was hired to draw. Almost exactly.
Really?
The color scheme, the mask. Yeah, and this was like this past summer. I did a Fiverr. Somebody hired me to draw a costume, and they laid out all the details. It is almost exactly like this. Now, this came out first.
Right.
This definitely came out first, and I was not using it as reference. I'm just now realizing that this character I created. Now, there's differences, but it was like a skeletal looking costume that's like roughly.
Yeah, that I was thinking that too. The color scheme,
Yeah. Yeah.
being black and white with the.
I don't know if I can show the picture that I did.
So
Can I show?
the actual
I don't think I can
skull-
show it.
The actual skull of Black Phantom reminds me of Grimm from Bill and Mandy on Cartoon Network.
I
yeah,
see
yeah,
that. Yeah.
Oh, hey, I'll be right back. Hold on one second.
Okay. But yeah, Black Phantom, I just want more story. Because that was a quick read. It was very simple storytelling. You got from point A to point V very quickly like that. And I did enjoy the change up from the Nazis to the aliens and then to the reptile. I thought that was a good twist. But I want to see more of that twist now. What we were given at the end, I want more of that at the beginning, and then fucking ramp it up back to 9, 10 again at the end of the second book. So
I liked the cadence. I did like the pacing of the whole story. That worked all right for me. Like there was no fluff, there was no BS that I had to sift through.
Right.
I could have used twice as many pages. Like I want to hear the continuation.
Yeah. There are things I would have changed up for it story wise. Like I wouldn't have given away the key at the very beginning. I would have let an arm like be ripped
could have
off.
Expanded on that. Yeah.
And then you just see the key hanging out from his costume on the floor, just like on the chain. And then you see him like tuck it back in, like get back in there. And then
you know how you have to have that, like it helps to have that hook at the beginning, that thing that's like, what the fuck is that? If there had been a moment like in the beginning panel where it was like the arm laying on the ground with worms coming out,
right,
and that it's like 12 hours earlier,
yeah,
that would have been like, what?
Yeah, let me get my arm back on right here and then show the key later on. You could have even like waited to reveal that until issue 2 and just let us be like, why the fuck is he able to do that with worms?
Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been some nice development of story. I agree with that. Like that could have been something delivered later on, and it's not ham-fisted into the storyline. It's actually plot development throughout the course of multiple issues.
What is Mobix talking about?
It's not really here or there for me. This is just the petty bullshit part of it. We're talking about that key. I would have liked to have seen it like wait to be revealed until like the second issue. Let us question why he has these powers and why he can do it, and then reveal it later. But
I don't mind that.
Nitpicky bullshit.
But it did seem like there was like a flashback of like I thought I was going to get a little bit of his origin. You know what I mean? But it wasn't a flashback of the origin.
The black and white.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit confusing. Some of the storytelling aspects of that was like kind of, I don't know. I don't know if I understood it properly.
Sure. So we're not really knocking the book. We're just giving ideas to like help with your story flow. Get an editor and see what they say. Leland Bjerg was my editor on issue 2 of Cobalt. Death Stalks Us. Phenomenal help when I presented him the story. And so I would check him out on Twitter or on Fiverr. He's in both places, but he is an editor and he's helped out on a lot of good books. So Leland Bjerg, check him out. And
do you happen to have the link to his stuff in the description of your video here? It might be worth having.
I don't, but I'll put that in afterwards.
Now, real quick, Mo Biggs is saying, Peter, if you can show that bowl cut, you can show the costume. What does that mean?
What Mob is talking about? The real mystery is where the hell did everybody go before I got here? D-Wag Police.
No shit. Yeah. Where are they at?
No, there's only 3 watching right now, and one's Mo Biggs.
All right, I pulled up my. I don't know.
So I don't know if Mo is in any chat or not.
I gotta fix something real quick.
Because we got one more book to review that we didn't put up on the banner.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, when I was talking about how I designed this character, like I'm gonna share it real quick.
Oh, okay.
But I was sharing the final product that had like the title and all this other shit. I'm like, maybe I don't need to show that one. This is a piece that I did for somebody. They wanted the Titans. And so they're very specific in their design that they wanted, and I basically just drew what they wanted.
Yeah.
And then put it in. And I was not thinking Black Phantom when I drew all this. Like that never even crossed my mind. But the more I look at it, I'm like, yeah, they're very similar in description.
And what happens with this one is what is helped with the art style Chad Townsend has, because I like the art style for that kind of design on Chad Townsend's rather than just normal comic book style. I'm not knocking your art. I'm just saying this style.
This was a $5 I did for a cover or movie poster or something for an animation. I don't know exactly what they were doing with this. And I'm not going to give the name. I've done so many of these types of projects. I'm wondering when I'm ever going to see any of them actually end up. They were very specific, given 2 tiltos. Yeah, dude. Baseball bats.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we need a hero with baseball bats. This is Horseman. This is right before Horseman actually came out.
Horseman, Casey Jones.
Yeah, and they were just the
guy from The Walking Dead.
Skeleton costume, black, white outfit, no color. Just make it skeletal. Give him 2 baseball bats. He's got guns on his hips. He's got a grappling hook on his back. He's got a big knife. The way these guys do Fiverr, they're like, oh, I want to see this. I want to see that. It's like tattoos. When I used to do tattoos, people used to come to me and be like, I want this. I want that. I want all this shit packed into some of me, because these are all the things that I like, but they don't understand art or anything. I'm like, okay, what's the meaning behind this piece?
Yeah, Corey's right. Weird way to hold baseball bats. He's holding them like you would swords or tonfas.
Well, that was also part of the posing and everything he wanted. And not that, I mean, maybe I could have done it better, but the idea was that he had some preliminary artwork, and he's like, I want this pose, I want these weapons, I want this and that. Essentially, he could have typed it in AI and had AI do it, but I'm happy to get paid for drawing this. You know what I mean?
Did you do the color and everything on that?
Yeah, I did everything on this. The background is a mixture of photographs and a lot of different stuff that I then, because he wanted to look like an animation, and a lot of animations have photographic Photoshop backgrounds. And this is what I did. I cleaned up a piece together background from photos, and then cleaned it up in Photoshop, made it look like your painted background you'd see in an animation, and then do a more animated looking image in the foreground. So
you did this for Fiverr?
Yes, this is a Fiverr gig I did.
What's your Fiverr account?
It's Peter Orchard Studios, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
it's Peter Orchard Studios. Yeah, and this was something I did. This wasn't for $5, but he's like, just like tattoos. He's like, I want a helicopter in the background. He's in an alleyway, and I want the light spot on him. But the cops are coming after him, so I'm like, okay, I gotta have cop lights in the foreground. I gotta have all.
What are they even after him for? His boots are clean.
Hang on, I gotta go top off because this third book's gonna need it.
Yeah. So basically, I'm like, okay, the background needs to look like a painted animation, while the foreground, the main character's got to look kind of animated, like an animation cell, right? Like you got your painted backgrounds with your animation cell. So I took his designs that he had and I pieced it together and the poses he wanted. And I did everything I could to like mash it all together and like make it look like legit and solid. And I think I did a pretty decent job with this piece, considering what I got paid for it. And fair enough. Like it all came out.
He's cheap. Hire him now.
Yeah, dude. Like I'm like done with Fiverr at this point. I'm so tired of putting the kind of effort into these projects and then have them get changed 100 times when it's like, I'm not going to argue with anybody. I'm not going to say, you can get this done on like AI, right?
Well, see, so let's see. Here's what Mo Biggs had to say. It's okay to read it out loud, Jake. It is. But as soon as we reveal what we're going to be reviewing, I have a feeling word's going to get out.
Zayd, what's up, man? Is that Phil? Phil, is that you? Zayd Comics? What's up? That's got to be
Google
Phil,
Black
right?
Phantom comic. It comes up with a hot Phantom Bay with nice jugs. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Looks nothing like this. What's going on, Zayd? Oh, that's Phil, right? Phil
Yeah,
Diaz?
that's Phil. Hey, dude. Phil, I'm curious. When y'all are my cards, have they gone up yet on your campaign?
Oh, you're gonna scare him off.
I did sketch cards for his campaign, but I've been checking up on his campaign. I haven't seen them. I know the last time I had sketch cards on his campaign, they went like fucking quick.
You did a good job, except you clearly got sidetracked when you were looking for baseball bat reference with safe turned off.
Fair enough.
All right.
You know what? Have you watched my show? My fucking search apparently pops up in all my.
You want to have some fun when Peter goes live? Ask him to pull up anything on the internet. Ask him to do anything that causes him to pull up his browser on screen, because he'll pull it up and then look. And you'll get to see whatever it is he was looking at every time.
You're not going to see like weird, disturbing shit like you're going to find on Vosh or, Destiny's channel. But it is interesting. I will say that. It's going to be like gargantuan tatas or some shit in my search browser.
You guys,
he'll get demonetized the second you ask.
No, I won't get demonetized because I did that episode where the titties were bouncing on my stream from that advertisement, and I still haven't gotten. I have not gotten struck by that.
Yeah, guess what? It's going to happen. Like that video is going to get like just randomly 2 years from now 100,000 views.
Right,
and that's when it happens.
Well, everybody go watch it.
Views.
Go watch it now before it gets struck, and I have to take it down. Go look through all my videos and find the one we're talking where the gigantic tatas are bouncing for however long before I call
it. The fourth or fifth video from this week, so you're gonna have to
it's like 4 or 5 back,
and it's fairly glorious.
And it's right there. And I didn't even bother editing it out. I haven't even edited it out, dude. That's what the search
for you.
That's what the algorithm is like. Oh, this is what this guy wants.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you want these advertisements? Boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, yes, sir.
You're going to get those audiences too.
No furry shit here. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So catch it while you can before I have to delete that episode or edit that shit out.
Yeah. Watch this stream before it gets struck for Peter showing this art with double dildo daredevil from the origin.
I just took it down. I took the double dildos
down. Very nice.
Oh, well played, sir.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right.
I'll take that.
That's what the Gate Crusader said.
And he did. No lube. Sandpaper dildo.
Ooh, that was rough.
All right.
That's what the Gate Crusader said.
Peter, are you ready?
All right, man. Yes, I'm completely ready. I've always been ready for this.
So the third book that we want to do on this, because we didn't want to promote it that much, but for those of you that are going to spread it by word of mouth, it'll get out there sooner or later. But we are going to now review projectile reptile from Dojo Code.
Oh, here we go.
That's
Which
exactly why we didn't promote it.
Wait. I want to see full screen, Jake. I want to see which cover you got.
Okay.
All right, so,
what cover you got, Jake?
Oh, I forgot the name. Is this supposed
Shelby
to be
Robertson? That's the Shelby Robertson cover.
I got the Shelby Robertson cover, and it's the hardcover too. So I got.
You got the hardcover?
Yeah.
I didn't even get the fucking. Did they even make a hardcover of mine?
No.
Can we get a full screen of Peter?
Yes, we can.
This is my cover. I did.
Yeah.
Now hold on. I wasn't the biggest fan of the coloring. Now I think it was Tartan Ninja. I think did it.
Yeah, but they only paid him like $4.
I like Tartan Ninja. Tartan Ninja's cool, but I don't know, man. Like I feel like I wish that they had like gotten with me about how the color schemes. There's a few things that are off on the colors of this that I had no control over. But the actual black, this was an art contest. Do I need to explain?
Yes, you do.
Okay,
so
there was.
Here we go.
There was an art contest. Now the art. I see this book that Dojo Kun is putting out, and I'm like, that's a cool looking character. And he's got an art contest, $100 prize. I'm like, all right, I could use $100.
No, he said $100 price,
and a prize. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing very good at some of these bigger art contests. I'm gonna do something. You know what? I like Dojo. I'm like on his show. We're doing the Dojo show.
We're chilling.
Yeah. So I'm like, I put some effort into that piece. $100. I mean, it's $100. It's Dojo Kun. It's like, how much are you gonna put in an art contest?
Right.
He's like, so he's trying to fund his book, but he's trying to do an art contest. It's cool. So I'm like, bro, I know Dojo. I'm going to do him a badass piece of work. I'm going to put some real effort. And I come up with this cover. Do I have the original back here somewhere? But anyways, I put all this effort into that. What does this say?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Cut him some slack, Corey. He did the last piece for $5.
Oh my God.
Touche.
Oh shit!
You're the reason he drinks.
There we go.
All right.
So anyway, $100 contest prize.
$100 contest prize. I put a lot of effort into this piece. Dojo has his contest. He has Joe Sontag, I think, Rini Shrikowski judging this thing.
Yep.
They did not like my piece,
which is bullshit.
They didn't. They liked other pieces, and now there was some really cool artwork. 6 a.m. has some cool stuff in there, and all. There's a lot of good artwork in there. Dojo pulls rank, and he says, "No, I like Peter's book. Peter wins this contest. Peter wins it." And then, boom, there's my cover right there. And I was like, well, hell yeah, dude. Now he had some struggles funding this book. So I was like, you know what? I got you, bro. I'm going to buy my cover. I want my cover. You know what I mean? I'm going to back it. So I backed it to get.
Okay, Mo, do something with that information that you just gave.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Mo response.
Yeah. I backed this cover. And I got it. And so that's that.
It was only $100.
I never got that $100.
It was $100 contest. He didn't pay it, and you paid to have your book.
And I never said anything about it until right now.
Yep.
I don't care. I know there was issues with funding. I know there's issues. So I was like, you know what? I want to see it happen. I want my cover. I put effort into that. I backed it.
No, I was waiting for Mo to say something about you were going to win $100 contest, didn't get paid, and then paid Dojo for your own cover on the book.
Yes.
He only paid $100, so it's not like.
No, I didn't pay $100 for this.
No, he didn't pay.
Are you kidding me? I backed it because he put my cover, I think, on Kickstarter or something weird. And so I had to back it on a platform that I don't even back books on just to get my own cover for it. And then I got, I don't know. I got comped I think the Shelby cover or something. Like I backed the book. Maybe it didn't get funded, and so I got refunded, and then he comped me my cover. I'm not sure how that worked out because I did back it on one of the platforms, but I don't think the book funded. But I did end up getting the book that I paid for. Anyways, I thought my cover was the best one out of all of the covers on here. Projectile reptile, 4-armed lizard guy with guns. There was no information on this thing about the characters or anything. And when I do these art contests, I do extensive research as much as I can to find out what I'm drawing.
Right.
And I saw the 6 a.m. magnet where he has like laser guns. So I used that as reference for his guns to make the laser guns. Why would I make a joke about that? Nothing I say could make that any funnier. Fair enough. Yeah. So I'm like working on this. I don't know anything about the story. So I'm like, oh, he's got laser guns. He's like an alien. So clearly they're in space or some shit. So I like add this like space crap over here, spaceship on the top, a spaceship like Wild West setting, and then like some weird alien in the foreground, right? He's like, oh, I got you, bitch. I had no idea what the hell the story was even about. And then I got the book. Then I read the book. And now we can do the review.
All right. So now we are reviewing Projectile Reptile, and
page 1.
I gotta tell you, I thought before I spoke with Peter, I enjoyed the first half of the book, right? But after we get past the shaman teleporting him to a different time, it fell flat for me, right? So here's how it goes.
I actually enjoyed that part.
Really?
More than I enjoyed the second half.
See, that's
I'm
weird.
going to go ahead and throw my thing out there and say I'm not familiar with the book at all, other than the plight that Peter went through on that.
So here's everything that
I
happened.
thoroughly enjoyed the live streams.
Yeah. Sure. But anyway, so here's everything that happened in a nutshell. Gunslinger comes into town, says he's a peaceful guy. Actions speak louder than words. I'll just say that. And he shoots the sheriff in a.
No, you're fucking the whole thing up, dude. Hold on.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
No, yes, you are.
No, I'm really not. I'm telling you exactly how it flows.
Gunslinger shows up to Wild Western City. Gunslinger gets called out at a bar. You're a fucking gunslinger. And he... Oh,
afternoon stranger passing through.
I'm looking at it.
Pull it up. Have Jake pull it up because your lighting is terrible.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Jake, pull this up because my lighting is terrible, and there's some panels that have to be talked about here, dude. Oh man,
you're fucking it up, man.
Yeah. God. Let me read. Our Luniverse. What's that, Blur Luniverse? Each time I ride into another sleepy little town, I imagine the stir I'll change. Our cause, being an infamous gunslinger and all, has its benefits, but it comes with a heap of trouble too.
Sounds a lot like an intro to a book that I had made, but whatever.
I mean, if I was going to talk about myself like that, I'd be like, being an infamous big dick swinger, fucking all bitches and all.
So here is Projectile Reptile from Dojo Kun.
All right, first
so it starts off with a gunslinger coming into town, right?
Yep.
He's like, hey, I'm just passing through, talks to the barkeep.
There's some odd, that panel right there on the right, dude.
Yeah.
Like, That middle panel in the middle of the page on the right, like there's some rough artwork in this book.
So he says, "What are you doing? Come through town?" "Oh, just passing through." Yada yada yada. And nothing really takes place for the sheriff to come in here, and these two just start talking shit to each other. Right? You see this star here, boy? That means I'm the law.
Now hold on a minute. Look at that fucking hand. You see this star with no labeling on it? I got that at Dollar General, you hear, boy? Boy, you see me here and this here gold star I got here at Five Below.
Came out of one of them machines in the front of the store for 50
Part of
cents.
the city just supplied me with this star. You better listen to me, son. I'm talking to you. We're in a Wild West.
Hey, I'm just a peaceful guy, but I'm going to talk shit to the sheriff. Yeah, I do reckon that you killed your own deputy. All right, that's a good way to start off, just passing through. Let's go settle this in the street. We're going to have ourselves our own Mexican standoff. All right, let's go do that.
Now, hold on. First of all, that's some weird storytelling for starters. Like, we're just showing up in town and starting shit with everybody here. Yep. And now we're all of a sudden in a Mexican standoff or whatever.
I'm going to go out on this. I want to be fair on everything. I like that top panel. I like the angling.
I like that angling. Yeah. That's not bad. That's not bad. You're right. The storytelling is kind of odd.
It's been a little off. It's not strong storytelling.
Sheriff's angry. Gunslinger, who still doesn't have a name yet. We're going to keep going back. Do we ever get a
name? I don't know if we got a name ever.
We don't get a name.
Honestly, go back a page. Go back to the two
name.
People. I don't know who either one of those faces are.
Right? Who's who?
They look
similar.
I
thought it was the same person.
No, they're different.
Got different handkerchiefs, yeah.
Different hats, different handkerchiefs, and the faces are very similar. Somebody's angry, and somebody's like cool. Is the cool?
I thought, my take on that was that he was angry, but then he's cooling it down.
If that's the same person, that is bipolar disorder to the T.
It's not the same person, but you might think it was, and so you think they're bipolar, and they're like bang bang. Bang bang!
So the gunslinger who just strolled in kills the sheriff.
One of them won. One of the twins won the fight.
Now around here,
Aaron Burr. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Hamilton.
Marty McFly, you just took down the Marty McFly. He's like the hero now.
Yeah, nobody's worried about the sheriff. They all come to congratulate him.
Sheriff. He had a blank star. He's been running around with this fucking like 25-cent like coin machine star, saying I'm sheriff around these parts. And then this guy's like, that a fucking coin machine.
We finally get his name. His name is Desmond Gibbons.
Okay.
I fucked that up.
All right, Desmond Gibbons. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, nobody calls him Chicken Palisards. You're right. Nobody calls him Chicken. You're yellow.
Yellow.
Well, Jacob, I can be mean if need be. Who in Mexico is meaner than me?
I don't know who you...
You just said that you weren't that much of an abrasive guy a few pages ago. So, all right. I guess we're switching it up now.
I like that panel right there.
Which one?
The high contrast, him getting on the horse.
So now he's looking into the investigation of where the deputy was murdered, right?
I don't like it.
He's going to look for signs of
what happened. Contrast.
This review is mean as a Mexican. A Mexican.
Oh, look.
This is where, this is one of the things that bothers me. This shit bothers me because I don't know if you explained. They're like, well, sir, now that you killed a sheriff, can you solve a murder for us? And he's like, well, yes, sir, I sure can. And they're like, well, here's the murder scene. And he's like, look at this pink thread. That is a unique piece of evidence. We call down in San Diego evidence. And you should know because I'm a gunslinger. Mix I can't, says our Luniverse. That was weird, dude. That was a weird, this pink thread.
So anyway, we find the pink thread, and then we go to the woman that has a pink dress, obviously.
Yeah, because she's still wearing the same dress
that she committed the murder in.
And she's like, that woman there committed the murder. She's wearing the same color pink thread. Make us your. We need you to be our sheriff. Or am I jumping the gun here?
But she gives it away that she thinks that the sheriff's wife Beatrice wore her.
Hold the fuck yesterday. Up! Sorry, Jake.
You're good.
Corey Barton says Peter can't draw hands that good. Excuse me. I am not the interior artist, sir. I was the cover artist. I can draw hands like nobody's fucking business.
Right.
I can draw hands like
No Big says Dojo Comics are like Detroit style pizza. They're your thing or they aren't.
I can draw hands like fucking AI draws hands. Exactly like AI draws hands.
Where do you think AI got the reference?
Yeah, where do you think I got the reference?
So anyway, they go to this lady's house. She is now in a green dress.
I gotta be fair. This is not my interior art. I am not the interior artist. I did that one cover that I didn't get paid for. Okay, so now he's like, okay, go ahead, Jake. He's like pointing a gun at a woman's head now.
Yeah. Oh, here's the pink dress I wore. Aha. Leave that right there. Step away from it. Now, ma'am, you're coming with us. Oh, wait, why? What happened? Well, apparently that's the dress that was torn, even though it didn't. I don't think it showed where it was torn at.
No, he proved it.
It's right here. Look, it's right here, getting ready to be burned.
She had it by her campfire.
Throws it off.
Yeah. I like the panel. So I out of context in a vacuum, I do like that panel where he's got the gun pointed to her head. I again like the stark contrast. And there is Peter alluded to it where there's like he's got the gun pointed to the woman's head. That's one of those things that's like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. That's a little out there, you know. That could be something. I don't have a lot of faith that that's going to get followed through in an artistic manner. But that one panel on its own, like if you selected a couple of the panels on this.
Now, here you got to keep in mind here we're having fun going through this, but you got to keep in mind a man just rode into town. He's very well known gunslinger.
Yeah, this has been like 20 minutes.
He just killed the sheriff, and then now he's solving a murder mystery with a piece of cloth.
They didn't even do anything with the sheriff. Like he's still laying there. He might even still be alive.
And now he's
Black Phantom can't even take his form yet.
They found the woman that shot the deputy, and then they found this woman over here says you were cheating on my husband was cheating on me with you, and so this woman shoots that woman, and
they're all like, "Hell, get these bitches out of here!"
It's been a good day.
We need him for the sheriff. I don't know what the fuck just happened. I'm with this dude. Hold on. I'm with this guy. Hold on. This dude with his hands up and he's talking. I'm with him. He's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but I'm with this new dude here. You're the sheriff.
Hold on. So, Dad Bod over here, up just a hair. He's got his arms up in the air and he says, "Here."
Yep.
That's a misnomer. That's a misspelling. It's not here like I can hear you. It's here like HERE.
Well, if you would notice in the beginning, we were always talking about having an editor, and there isn't a solid editor on this book. It's a friend of Dojo's, and there are lots of points that you could call out the editor on this book. So now he just like
thing. I'm
he
new
just
sheriff.
I'm the new sheriff with that fucking gold star from the 25-cent machine.
Look at my abs right through my shirt.
Dude, he's got Jesus abs.
He's like Assassin's Creed fucking costume here in the Wild West. But
Chapter 2.
Now hold on. All of that.
Hold on.
Just to establish that now he's the sheriff.
Yep.
Because it's completely fucking pointless. None of that mattered. Just to establish that he's the sheriff now. None of it mattered.
Okay.
Oh, are we ready to go back?
Okay, go ahead, go back.
Damn it.
Because that's a point of like the storytelling in this book. It's like 1 point to A to B to C to D. There is none of that actually matters to the actual story. There's no story to this book, by the way. There is no story.
Mo Biggs asks, why is your critique focused on that gold star and not his Wild West onesie?
Man, this is me going easy on this book. Just to be fair.
His name's Jacob Gibbons. He didn't go with Clint Eastwood.
Desmond Gibbons, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're in chapter 2. Where have all the cowboys gone? So we're at the funeral for, well, you know. And then
you watch your mouth, Paulus Arts. John Malin draws a fucking gallant steed.
Okay. So for some reason, it feels like the lettering got smaller.
Maybe. Corey Barton says, I think Peter doesn't like it because the interior artist draws better hands. Maybe. Maybe.
So anyway, they find footprints and they find the roots growing out of this barn. I don't know what relevance that has. To be fair, I haven't read this in a while. What was that? Shit. Uh-oh. Trapdoor. So they're trapped down in this little area now. But look at that. There's a hole at the end of it. So what the fuck?
They fall into a hole, but there's a hole at the end.
There's a hole at the bottom of the sea.
It's just a bunch of weird random shit that happens.
Yeah. I don't know why we needed that to get there, because clearly there's just a cliff that they could have walked straight to.
They're trying to walk you to some point in the storyline, and there wasn't a whole lot of thought as to like how we're going to get there.
Right.
No. There is no point in the storyline to get to point B. It's just random shit that happens, one thing after another. Nothing correlates to itself or the other events. It is all random shit that happens. There is no story. It's all just random. Like, if at this point in the story, the events tied into the beginning of the story, and that way they relate, that would make sense. None of this relates to itself, and so there is no story. It's just a bunch of weird shit that happens that leads to
events take place, story does not.
And so when people have a problem with this book and they call like Dojo out on this, and Dojo, I don't remember Dojo particularly like backlashing or anything towards anyone, but just being angry at them. But I don't ever see any like, oh, that's actually a good point. I'll take that to consideration. People can be brutal on the internet. And yes, some people have been brutal, but not once did I see an acknowledgement that maybe this isn't good writing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that's where I start to have like real issues, because this is not Dojo's first book. This is 10 years
So
later.
here's what's happened so far in chapter 2. Somebody died. He goes out looking for answers, him and his partner. They fall in a hole, which leads to a hole that comes out of the cliff where they could have just walked to, and they come up on this tree house that leads them to a book that they didn't know that they were interested in until now.
It's like
Look
a D&D
book.
dice roller. Like those dice buckets where you dump the dice in, and then the dice pop out the bottom. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about. A dice tower.
Okay.
Okay. Never
When
mind.
nobody's home,
Yeah.
they look at the book. Suddenly, smoke comes out from the chimney or the top of the treehouse. I don't know. Then this fucking thing shows up out of nowhere.
Which looks badass. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks
I don't
good.
know what it is, but it looks cool.
Corey. Corey just asked, "Where's the reptile guy at?"
We'll get there. Got it. We'll get there. Calm your fucking horses down.
Yeah.
Damn it, Corey. Damn it.
Shit.
We'll get there.
Let us do our thing.
The 6-gun gorilla. You just hold your horses there now, son. We're getting that horse. We're getting that six reptile projectile.
So shooting at this thing, they're like, "Oh, I guess if we take the book, they'll come looking for it." Like, who the fuck just takes a book that you're not really looking for, but take it anyway? What is that thing? I'm not gonna ask
anybody who ever played Fallout.
My mama raised me right. Wait, what? Oh, so more of those things come in. Can you read that crazy language? So
No, I can read the expressions on the faces don't really sell the conversation.
So the threat that just appeared is now disappearing. So it wasn't a real threat. So they decide to sit down and read this damn thing. And then here comes a shaman. That is my spell book. You found that very fucking quick. Now I'm going to cast a spell. You may call me Fiddle Rage. It's not even clever. Fiddle Rage. Not even close. We may call you that, huh? Well, come and get your little book then. I'll be taking that. Wait, don't touch that. Okay, so this is where it fucks up for me.
I like this part.
He's holding the book in place, throws a fireball at him, and for some reason they start glowing.
He uses the book as a deflection.
Sure. But why is his partner also encased in the glow now?
He's going to come in later. I know he's going to come in later.
No, that's his partner now. His partner turned into that monster, runs out, and is now just skipping through the town.
What is that, by the way?
Hold on. From the woods into the town.
Now, his partner turns into this. The partner turns into that monster, and immediately is hopscotching or whatever the fuck that is. What is that? I actually like the artwork and this particular page. I like the art. That character looks cool. I don't like the cowboy. Like that panel. I don't like that. I don't like either of those. But down at the bottom, that looks cool. Then you got this hopscotching weird shit happening at the bottom of the page. It's like weird. I don't know. Like he had a moment of inspiration on this page.
This review is all hat, no cattle. God damn.
Trying to be nice.
But yes, he's like a dog on the carpet getting the worms out of his ass.
Yes. and look at him. It looks like he has worms.
You and the hands.
I'm open. Hey, Dojo, if you watch this review, make sure to hire me to draw your next book. So I'll get it.
God.
You'll give a 5-star. Dojo, you need to unblock me from Twitter, and you need to accept the fact that I'm going to comment on your posts. I'm going to say that over and over again. I have done nothing to Dojo that would require him to block me. No. It's ridiculous. Dojo, you got to unblock me, man. In fact, I'm like the best person you could have on your team, and I am not against you, but you got to like grow up, man. Unblock me and accept I'm going to comment on your shit.
All right. Moving on.
Here we go.
After his
FYI, just before we skip over on this, I'm at like 5% battery, just so you guys know.
Well, then you need to charge your phone because you're about to miss the best part of the whole book.
So, check it out. Now his buddy, the sheriff, Desmond Gibbons, has now turned into the projectile reptile. And it's not a bad look. I like this panel. I like the character panel of his face.
I like the design. I don't know if I like the panel, the particular artwork, but it's probably one of the better ones in the book.
I can accept that artwork. Yeah.
It's really weird how people can draw monsters easily, but when it comes to humans, then they start losing their way.
Hey, that panel, hold on, that top left panel right there. I can't believe this. That looks very similar to another kind of art that I've seen in a book recently.
Yeah?
Pitter Patter.
Oh my God.
Had to say it.
I'm not on Twitter, but if I was, I would block Peter until he admitted that sometimes people fall in holes.
I'll admit that right now, and you don't have to block me. But you can block me.
You know how many holes Peter has fallen into?
Dojo blocked Peter. That's exactly right.
Yes, after I did a cover for him and didn't get paid.
And I even tried to be a mediator between the two.
He blocked me because I said, don't be a douchebag. I'm trying to keep him honest. I'm trying to keep him like legit. He said some shady shit, and I was like, don't talk like that. And he blocked me for it. So he needs to unblock me because he knows that I'm right. And I'm still being a cool friend just by saying this. I'm not talking shit about Dojo. I'm saying he needs to unblock me.
He didn't get paid for the cover. He won the contest and didn't get the money that was supposed to be on the contest.
That's right. And then I had to buy my own cover. It's not the first time. It's not the last time.
So they're both confused as to why he turned into the reptile. The shaman's like, what? What do you mean? He's like, don't be coy. What did you do to me? No, it can't be. Go on. That was years of Druidic research. So apparently the book's gone and it was absorbed by projectile reptile or some shit.
But deflecting it. He absorbed the book.
So fireball plus magic book equals absorbed into skin equals human reptile.
Alligator boy with 4 arms.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like there's some sort of mysticism behind this. That
Corey Barton, that is absolutely correct. I joined an art contest. I won the art contest because he pulled my artwork as the winner, printed it. I didn't get paid for it. I never complained about it because I understand that there was some issues with the funding of that book. I never once said anything. I backed my own book.
He didn't even charge you extra to buy your own cover, and this is how you repay him?
Right? Because I am 100% supportive, and then I get blocked.
I'm not over.
And there's a catch. There's a catch. All the contest promo work that he did that suggested that there was a payment involved in that contest,
right?
He deleted that from YouTube, so there was no evidence that there was ever a prize on his art contest because the only time he ever stated it was on his YouTube channel.
Look, he says it right here. I think you absorbed the book. What the hell does that mean?
It means you absorbed it.
It means a fireball that you threw to destroy him was absorbed.
Thank God he didn't absorb an Eric July book, huh?
Oh, dude. So this is how this story ends.
So check. Yes. That is where it gets.
This is where this story ends.
So he's projectile reptile. Wow. There's the fucking shaman at the J6 shaman,
right?
And then the next page, it's, hey, we've got this. You're fucking Captain America. Welcome to the future.
Yeah.
And we got this team we've been building for 10 years.
All right. Yep. So now we're in present day. We're in present day. We're talking to Batman and Robin, or Cockfight and Rooster Cuck, and they're talking to some doctors and everything. They're trying to figure something out. Yada yada yada. And then there goes the Batmobile.
The Batmobile. That's Batman and Robin right there.
Here's some heroes, or whatever you want to call them. All this is going on. And then,
just for everybody who's confused, that was in the past. And then Projectile Reptile got projected into the future.
No. But Mo asked, does it say present day, or are you just assuming that because the news reporter is non-binary?
You have to assume it because it does not say.
So in Projectile Reptile, we now get present day Los Angeles following the events of what? Siamese.
Now, Siamese. Now we are
converging Siamese stories with Projectile Reptile in a Projectile Reptile book.
And that is the only storytelling aspect of the entire book, is that it ties into the Siamese story, which is a loose story at best. Projectile Reptile has no story. The events that lead him to becoming Projectile Reptile have nothing to do with, like, him becoming sheriff, becoming Projectile Reptile, moseying into this town, being a gunslinger. None of that makes any sense. It means nothing because it has no point in story to him eventually ending up in the future. He's just some jackass that showed up, and then shit happened, and then he's like fucking made leader, and then all of a sudden he's got to go do shit, and so now he's like being thrown into the future.
Right.
It's so it. Now you gotta have to have read Siamese to understand what the hell's going on.
Right. So Batman and Robin are actually looking for a lost person, and that lost person just so happens to be the third sister of the Siamese twins.
Oh my god! Now hold on. Batman and Robin are not. They're not Siamese. That's not the part of the Siamese story. I read Siamese. Yeah. The Batman and Robin characters are not part of the Siamese story. No, so if you read Siamese, you would not know what the hell's going on. They're just random characters. So you skip to the future where this character just became Projectile Reptile, thrown into the future, which you don't know yet. Right. Now we're in the future with characters that had you read Siamese, you still wouldn't know what the hell's going on. And then you're introduced to a third incestuous sister, because if you read Siamese, you understand these two sisters are incestuous. And we're being introduced to a third sister that they were not aware of, that now there's three fucking banging hot sisters incestuous.
Yeah. And so now we're going to get a threesome later on in the next sign.
Still has nothing to do with Projectile Reptile. There is still no story involved here. None of this means anything because none of it ties together.
No. So Batman and Robin are out looking for her, right? And they actually find her.
No, Mo Biggs, like the third sister is definitely incestuous.
Yes.
So
these versions of Batman and Robin now have a new artist, because this is Batman and Robin. This is Batman and Robin. They look completely different until you get, and then over here. And that's just a bad leg shot. That's a bad kick. That's
sorry,
weird.
Jake. Hold on. Mo Biggs is saying the only way Hold on a minute. I got to go back here. Corey Barton says that's a nice
Hot babe, though.
hot babe. And then Mo Big says the only way to settle this is an epic crossover where Dojo is on this show and then Peter goes on Incendiary. I was on Incendiary for over a year.
Same.
And then Mo Big says you're painting this broad with a broad bro. I was on Incendiary for over a year. Hence, like, because I disagreed with him on his show, he started like not letting me speak on his show.
Yeah, he'd kick him off or mute him.
And then that led to me commenting on his ridiculous posts on Twitter, and then that made him mad, so he blocked me after all this shit. So okay. Now Corey Barton, he says that's actually really disappointing. You didn't get paid, Peter, even though it's just $100. Now I am a friend of Dojo, so I understand he was like having struggles funding. I did not ever bring it up. Literally, today is the first time I have ever mentioned it.
Right.
Ever. I have never mentioned it to him. I've never brought it up. Even after he blocked me, I did not fucking bring that up until today, because it's kind of like, bro, he's still in Comicsgate. He's in the Comicsgate community,
yeah,
telling people not to promote Comicsgate. They're like, what Comicsgate character should I draw? Well, honestly, you'd be better not drawing a Comicsgate character. And that's in the Comicsgate community room.
Right.
It's like, bro, are you kidding me?
He's actually replying to Jim O'Reilly in the Comicsgate community.
So it's like,
he made that comment.
And now I could go on for decades about all the fucking nitty gritty backroom, dark room shit. I'm not. I'm only even bringing. I don't even want him to pay me for the cover for this book. I want him to make as much money as he can off of my cover, because that proves that he's wrong for having blocked me in the first place. I did nothing to him. And so that's where I'm at. Like, I want him to make a lot of money. I want him to eventually realize he's completely wrong for having blocked me and made me some villain in his world. It's so weird, man. It's just weird. I was on his show for over a year, and the way he treated me was just like complete shit.
Mo Big says, so after your disbelief that a man fell into a hole in a story, you are describing a man digging a hole for himself. Do you not see the contradiction?
Yeah, that's a good point, Mo Biggs. Maybe I'm stupid.
So
Maybe I'm the stupid one.
Find the long lost female. And somehow she has mutant powers, which the Siamese never showed, and she can fly. Well, so this girl whose outfit is based on cats.
Wait a minute.
Wings.
That's based off the character that he did. He did a contest to try and figure if you can figure out why this character's on this cover, then you win a prize.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the XYXX cover that he was talking about? That's because she used to be a man and then she became a woman. And that's why this person's on this cover. And that was the contest he held. He held a contest for fans to explain why he had a man or something, a woman on a man's cover, because he had the boy cover and a girl cover. And his contest was, if you're a super fan, you would know why there's a woman on the man's cover or something stupid like that. And
he changed it for that contest. That was not the original idea behind that cover.
Oh, was it?
Okay. Yeah, having somebody like genie themselves into a different spot of a different character, that would no. For anybody that fell for that, goddamn.
I agree with Corey Barton here. Why is everyone suddenly against Comicsgate? I don't get it. It's been great for getting comics created. It was, but the problem was you had a lot of people who all of a sudden thought that they could then just like shill bullshit and then get funded. And then when they didn't, or they didn't get the promotion they wanted, they turned against Ethan. This is not comics. Comicsgate is the group, right?
Yeah, no shit.
And they think they want to find excuses and reasons why they failed. And that's Ethan. It's because he claimed Comicsgate. It's because of this and that. It's not. It's because the book is not good. And Ethan had to claim Comicsgate's the trademark because otherwise you're going to get Preston Poulter out there making dog shit pornography, like ruining the name almost as much as all the bad books that were coming out from the support.
Let's close up this book and then we can start bitching about everything.
You're right. Yeah, let's do that.
So anyway, they find Batman and Robin find Kitty. They find out that she's a thief. And she flies off so she's not caught. They go down to her basement and they find all these relics that she's collected that are priceless. Then we decide to go back to Projectile Reptile.
Now he's back in the future, right? Oh, 1894. So there's a flashback. So that was a flash forward to explain events that have nothing to do with this book. Just to explain, now we're going to go back in time to say, okay, now some shit's happening that it's going to make sense. Just trust me, bro. That's what's going on here.
Yep. So he's with the shaman again. We need to find the rock. We? Yes, we. You did this to us and you're going to help me find him. Yep. So he's on a mission to go find his friend first. And then he gets an outfit taken care of him because that's important first.
That's a weird panel.
This idiot did this. He got Deputy Rock too. We have to find him. So now we have to find the deputy that turned into the monster. We're having all the issues. He said that it went that way. And we're back at fucking Batman and Robin again.
Then we're back to the future.
Look at this stuff. It's pretty cool. Yada, yada, yada. Looking over the stuff. Oh, look. We can't do that. No. Why can't? Why not? We can't assume she didn't.
None of this means anything to the story. Like, if anybody was just getting in on Projectile Reptile, nobody knows what the fuck this is. Nobody knows anything about any of this. I don't even know, and I've read Siamese.
That is Batman Forever Batmobile.
Like, I don't even understand the logistics of that fucking vehicle, but okay. Yeah, it looks cool, fine.
All right, so there's Kitty. You can see the wings hovering above the vehicle. So she's just flying over them.
But who the hell's Kitty? Who is all these people? Nobody knows.
Right. So now we're back to Projectile Reptile. He's getting his 2 guns. They find his friend. Oh, no. And just when it gets good, we're back to Batman and Robin.
We're back to the who knows who is this character?
So they're looking at all the superheroes that have fought before for some reason.
Hold on. I'm open. This review is bad faith. It's not bad faith because I don't dislike Dojo. And he might hate. He probably hates my guts, and that's fine. I don't dislike Dojo. I'm trying to make Dojo a better person by understanding he's got to listen, and he never listens. And this is like, what the fuck, man? This book is bouncing back and forth, and the story hasn't even happened yet. There's no story.
Yeah, now it's bouncing back and forth on the same page.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, bouncing back and forth. So we're leading up to this. Okay, hold on. There's this idea that you can have future events, past events, and then you start to bounce back and forth more frequently until eventually the two meet, right? Except if you're just jumping in on Projectile Reptile, you have no idea what those future events are. So none of those characters mean anything. And when you haven't even tackled a story yet for the main character of your book, jumping to future characters, which also mean nothing to you as of yet. It's like, okay, do you have to read every single dojo book for it to kind of make sense? Because I have read Siamese. I have the Siamese books.
You're welcome.
Yeah, well, I will say this. They get better as they go along. And that's to be expected. That doesn't mean they still make sense or are coherent towards the end. And then when you're using them as the premise to make this book make sense, you're asking for trouble, because most people probably haven't read those books. And so now you got this guy who was made sheriff for no reason. And then he went and like somehow got himself turned into a reptile for no reason, and then got transported to the future for no reason. And you're explaining that there's all this shit happening in the future just to accept that he's now been thrown into their world. That none of it makes sense, dude. It's, to a reader, this is all gibberish nonsense. And it'd be cool if the artwork was like the artist we were looking at for that Writhe Payne. But this is like, okay, this is mediocre artwork, decent color, mediocre.
So he gets teleported to the future, and then his whole attitude just changes. It's not like, where am I? I need to get back home. They're like, hey, why don't you join us and become a good guy? He's like, yeah, okay. And now he's the fucking front man for it.
Yeah, but what the hell is this team doing? It's like, what just team are you talking about? If you've never read anything, you don't understand. Now, Dojo's been putting together this team. This team, by the way, is what he would do with all the major characters. Now, for people who don't understand, this is the Justice League, the Avengers, in the perspective of Dojo. Dojo is putting together his own team. And so this is his take on all those characters. But you cannot expect a reader to understand any of that while reading this book, because none of it is coherent. None of it is completely disjointed. And unless you've read everything he's ever put out, and even then, I don't know if you would completely get it. This story, there is no story here other than series of events leads this monstrous person to join a team.
Oh yeah. So here at the end of the book, for no reason at all, it switches back to Kitty and her finding her Siamese sisters.
Yeah, which is another just like weird.
Oh, and here's your I guess like non-binary character as one of the Siamese, because how she talks here. Hey there, tall, dark, and reptilian. We're Yao Yao. What's your name? So we're Yao Yao. This person is referring to themselves as we.
So one of the things about the Siamese books is that they are incestuous sisters. The first book actually has nudity, which is like, all right. But then it's like, okay, the sisters are like, they're not incestuous like, hey, let's like lure some unsuspecting male into our clutches. No, they're like seriously like two sisters that are like into each other and they're like screwing around. All right. They tone it down a bit. I'll give them that in the later issues. But the story's kind of meh. But then we get into this, and it's, okay, dude strolls into a town. Dude ends up murdering someone. Dude solves murder. Dude becomes sheriff. Dude, well, in prospect of being sheriff, becomes projectile reptile. Through unrelated events, dude becomes thrown into the future.
That hurts so much. My sign fell down.
Then dude gets thrown into this team that's been like, Dojo's been building this team of superheroes, his Justice League,
for ages,
for a long time. All his books lead to everybody joining this team, but there are no stories relating to this team and their adventures together. Everything he's been doing is leading up to them building this team for a long time. That does not work with crowdfunding. When everybody has to back a book to get to the next book, we got to fund a book. You can't have zero story. Projectile Reptile has no story. It'd be one thing if the Druid, all that shit tied into some events happening in the future, and that's why he got thrown into the future, or some of the shit. And if that is the case, there's no explanation of that. It's just weird, random shit that is supposed to be accepted. Hold on,
Peter,
what am I saying?
Typing the book to us with all these amazing things. Tell us the bad parts too.
All right, the bad parts. I did an amazing cover that I didn't get paid for. And I didn't know anything when I did this cover. I didn't know anything about the story because,
the Shelby Roberts cover. That's cool.
The campaign had no story. It's like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but we're looking at this book. I got a lot to say, and if you think I'm shitting on it, you have no idea. This is me being very nice. All right. There's a lot I could tear into, not just this book, but everything. Come on. I did a cover for the guy, and he blocked me on Twitter for commenting on his posts. So
it wasn't even that bad a comment.
I mean, it's not a good comic, but it's not.
No, your comment.
Oh, it's not.
Your comment wasn't even bad enough for him to block.
Yeah. When it came to why he blocked me, it's not because of the comment. It's because he was tired of me having my own opinion that disagreed with his opinion. Like, we were doing his show. I did his show for over a year. I was drugged through the mud because of his show. Mm-hmm. Like, Ethan Van Sciver looked at one of those episodes and was like...
That bend the knee bullshit.
That bend the knee shit was like, I had to sit there and watch Ethan Van Sciver tell Fanta, you need to leave these guys. These guys are dragging you down. I defended them. I defended Ethan and shit in that episode. But then I had to watch Ethan tell Fanta, you need to leave these guys. And it's like, what... But I'm not even, like, that's what happens when you want to play those fucking games. And so then you're like, okay, maybe it was kayfabe. Maybe it was whatever. Why would Dojo do a show like that? It's because he didn't like what was happening with the Dungeoneers and all the shit. Because he was a part of some background anger hate mob. We weren't. I was not aware of any of this. Jake wasn't aware of any of this. We were just doing a show because we were trying to have fun.
Right.
But then we joined this show. We're part of the show where we are arbitrarily placed on sides of an argument. We didn't choose what side of the argument we were going to be on. We would have to argue on the merits or whatever. Like, you're going to be on this side of the argument. And today we're going to talk about fuck Comicsgate. And Peter, you're on the side of fuck Comicsgate. What do you have to say? And it's like, I'm not going to be a part of that side. That was the whole point of the show, was like, argue whatever side you're placed on. That's fine for a debate, but when you're going to start some kind of political war against a fucking group that you're a part of, how can you expect your hosts to just arbitrarily argue your fucking points? It's bullshit. It's like, I'm supposed to argue I'm supposed to, like, defend your opinion of Comicsgate or Ethan, because it's not Comicsgate. Let's be real. That argument was not about Comicsgate. That was about Dojo's problem with Ethan Van Sciver, which I disagree with. And I'm supposed to defend his argument with Ethan, because the premise of his show was, you argue, like, it's to show how great of a debater you are. So you're placed on whatever arbitrary side that you get placed on, and whether you're a good debater or not, you can argue your merits. Okay, except that I adamantly disagree with everything I'm being placed, and I'm always placed on the bad side. I was always placed on the side that I disagreed with, but I played the game. I did it. I did it for fun. I did that for over a year. And just because. And then I get blocked even after doing a cover for the guy. I get blocked for commenting. This is what I'm talking about. Jim O'Reilly in the Comicsgate community says, "Hey, Comicsgate, I know I post some of my art from time to time, but I'd like to start posting some CG related art sculpture. I'd like some suggestions from you fine folks. It can be any CG character. Just supply a reference shot." And then Dojo's comment from the Comicsgate community: "You could do much better than selecting CG characters." That's what the fuck are you doing in Comicsgate community if that's your response to that post?
Yeah, that actually pissed me off.
This was from like a week ago. This is way after Dojo blocked me for saying, "Hey, don't Dojo." Dojo was attacking Ethan Van Sciver, because Ethan was talking shit about Dojo. So Dojo made a response. Jake, if I'm wrong, correct me here if you're aware. But
go for it.
Ethan said something about Dojo's comic book being bad. The comic book we just looked at.
Yep.
And then Dojo said, "For somebody who has an autistic child, you'd think you would be more respectful for somebody on the spectrum," referring to himself as somebody on the spectrum, using Ethan's daughter as the shield or the crutch for that debate. For somebody who has an autistic child in their life, you'd think you would know better than to argue or debate me, who is also on the spectrum. Well, there's so much wrong with that comment, so naturally, my response was, as Dojo's friend, don't bring Ethan's daughter into this. That's a bad look, bad move, totally bad move. And he says, "Well, I'm just suggesting, like, I get it. Don't fucking do it. That you were completely wrong here." And then he's like, "I understand." And then he eventually did something else. I don't remember what it was, but it was very similar. He eventually blocked me for the same type of comment. I didn't do anything bad. I didn't say, "Hey, Dojo, don't be a piece of shit." I didn't say, "Hey, Dojo, watch yourself." I was just like, "Hey, don't go down that road. That's not a good fucking argument, bro." And he blocked me for it. After I did all this this cover for him that I didn't get paid for, after being on his show for over a year, after being drugged through that mud that he fucking started with the bend the knee if you're not CG or whatever, I tried to fucking be the voice of reason, and that made me the villain in Dojo's mind. And now he's trying to make me the villain in his own mind, in his own world. I'm the bad guy. I was only nothing but a friend. And again, Dojo, unblock me, because that's ridiculous. You need to unblock me to accept that I'm going to comment on your posts. And you might not like every comment that I have to make. I am not being malicious. I'm not being like a shithead. I am commenting for your sake, because I was on your show for a year, man. He can't get it, and that's fine. You don't want to understand. You want to blame everybody else. That's fine. I think what's going on is that Dojo's books weren't that good. He didn't get the funding that he wanted, and that he's trying to blame everybody but himself. Or maybe he blames himself, but he just doesn't want to accept the fact that it's not everyone else's fault that his shit didn't get funded. I mean, Mo Biggs, I'm not trying to show Dojo up. I have nothing to like. I'm not trying to show him. I'm not trying to like even run Dojo through the mud. I want him to understand that he's wrong and that he needs to accept that he's wrong. He needs to unblock me because I'm still his friend. Whether he wants to accept it or not, I am still his friend. I want him to be honest. I want to be a good person. Like I thought he was. I thought he was a good person. That's why I was on his show for so long. And I want him to do better. And I think that if he was to do that, I think his books would get better. And if he were to even like come to me or Jake or somebody and say, "Hey, man, what do you think about this? Before I put too much money into this project, what do you think about this?" And be like, "These are the things I think would make it better." And then you maybe make it better. Maybe take everything we've said tonight about his book and go, "Oh, I never thought about it like that."
Maybe.
Like maybe I needed a story that tied the beginning of the book to the end of the book. Or maybe I needed something that made this character actually mean something rather than just a series of events. Maybe I need to stop looking at things that Peter says that pisses me off as reasons to hate his fucking guts and think of them as like, maybe he's got a point. You know what I mean? There's a million ways to look at it. I'm not some asshole. Like, there's one perfect example. And what's his name again? Von Coleman.
Yeah.
Von Coleman. I used to give Von Coleman, because Von Coleman was a part of that Dungeoneer shit. And when I read all those messages, I was like, this looks like it's coming from a kid. He doesn't know any better. He thinks there's some big thing, big movement. Von Coleman's reacting like a 19, 20-year-old would react in those Dungeoneer file things. He's like, oh, but what if we all stood against that? Then maybe he'd listen. And then you get all these people going like, "Nah, bro, you don't understand." It's like, he's a 20-year-old. He's a kid. Give him a fucking break, man. Give them all a break. All those Dungeoneers. Even Phil and all of them with the stupid recording. Come on. We're supposed to be the adults here, right?
You would think.
Bad moves. It's not the end of the world. Nobody did or said anything that was like so detrimental that nobody could come back from it. And Von Coleman was just a kid going, "Oh, I'm Bubba." Maybe he's like rallying the troops or whatever, thinking he could do that. Here's how I view Von Coleman. Von Coleman took a lot of shit from me on Twitter. What's going on here? I'm not even reading this.
He's such a kid. How did he come up with an amazing marketable title like Phenomenova? Explain that.
Dude, did you watch the episode where we're teasing him about some of the aspects of that book? It was funny, but I gotta say, for somebody I thought was kind of pompous, Von Coleman took it like a champ, and he fucking rebutted. I got props. Chill. I give him respect. I give Von Coleman respect. I like Von Coleman.
Yeah.
And the fact that he even came on after I gave him some shit on Twitter, I give him props. So good on you, Von Coleman. I like Zaid Comics. And I like the Lost Pages and everything they're doing. The books looks fucking good. Bad moves with those recordings or whatever with Ethan. Bad move.
You know how you keep it good with everybody in the community? You don't fucking go looking for shit to start.
Yeah. And if you fuck up, you know what?
Admit it.
Just say, you know what? That was a bad move. Bad move. Sorry. I fucked up.
Yeah.
And I think that's where like Phil is. He needs to be like if that was him, I don't know if that was him doing the recording, but from what I saw, it looks like that was Phil. But it's PTP, I don't know about. PTP seems like he was maliciously trying to start shit. I don't know about PTP, but Phil, I think Phil's got like a redemption arc. I think Phil's actually like, he's got a good book out. I think Phil's another one of them kids that's just like, you know what? I fucked up. I'm sorry.
You're not a runner-up. You are the CG ambassador. You and Bancroft are the top two.
Who?
Mo Biggs and Bancroft.
Oh, yeah. I was like, not me. He's not talking about me. I ain't no fucking CG ambassador. I'm just like what do you even call that? Like, I'm like sitting here going like, okay, I know I deal with kids every fucking day and I see kid behavior and I'm like, that looks like kid behavior.
Yeah.
If I was Ethan Van Sciver, I understand where he's coming from. If I'm one of the big guys, I understand how annoying that would be and how it's like detrimental. And I don't actually have any problem with the way they've handled any of this. No. Now, I would also add to that and say that doesn't mean that they need to like grow up or they need to rise above that shit.
Right.
Some people are like too good to rise above that shit, or some people are like, well, fuck all that and run away from it. No, you need to rise above it. Say, you know what? That was a bad move. I'm sorry. My books are good. I'm doing a good job. And I do think Phil Diaz is doing a good job. Those Lost Pages looks good. Psycho Slumber looks fucking awesome.
Right.
And I would like to see Phil Diaz back in this mix, dude. He is comics. They're all comics gate, dude. They just need to bad move.
As much as people want to say that they escape it, you don't really. We're still all under the same umbrella because we all still hang out in the same spots. We all still do the same shit. We're just, I don't care if you're part of the Kings or not. You're adjacent to it no matter what you do.
Yeah. So nobody is like out unless you choose to be like the dickhead that's out. I don't think Von Coleman, he decided, no, I'm not out. And I don't think Phil Diaz is out. I don't think any of the Dungeoneers are out.
Corey.
Hey, take it easy, Corey, man. Thanks for dropping in. I just think they need to all come back and just admit, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this wasn't the best thing I said. Let's all do better.
It's there.
Yeah, Mo is the master of writing funny comments. So, rant over. I could go on forever about every individual person.
Yeah. We're coming up on almost 3 hours, though.
No shit, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
What up, D-Wag?
What's up, Darren?
You missed a good one.
Yeah, man. And when it comes to Dojo, the book needs work. Projectile Reptile needs work.
Yeah.
His stories need work. I'm not shitting on Dojo. He needs to fucking... I
am telling Dojo to quit using friends to be the fucking editor and go get a real editor.
Well, he also needs to stop looking at friends to choose as enemies to fucking... When I've been his friend the whole time.
Yeah.
And you need to fucking unblock me and you need to accept that I'm going to comment on shit. And then maybe even throw some of your ideas at me for fucking critique. Because I might help you from embarrassment in the future. I chose violence.
They should say I'm going.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. All right. If the Dojo doesn't want to accept that after me, fucking throwing him under the short bus for 3 hours.
What's on going? It's Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, yo.
Appreciate you coming out. We are at the 2:42 mark, man. Should we call it a night?
No, hold on. I could go on about Dojo for another 15 minutes.
I'm sure you could.
Oh, what about Von Coleman? I could go on ahead for another 15 minutes.
I think we're good.
You want to talk about Dungeoneers? I could say, look, who else we got? I'm gonna throw out Ali Sanguis. Ali. 15 minutes? You want a 15-minute rant about Ali?
Go right ahead. Let's talk about
I'm not gonna do
Ali.
I'm not gonna talk about Ali. But who else? Who else we got from back in the day that disappeared? What happened to fucking Hockey? Hockey. What happened to him? Where'd he go? Hockey, where you at?
I thought he was somewhere. I thought he's on somebody's channel, isn't he?
Well, him and Ali used to do their show together, and it was not right. It was a fun show.
Had a fallout. I don't know what that was.
Did they have a fallout? Is that what happened?
Yeah, Hockey Streams with Jason.
Is it Jason? Okay. Jason who?
Bascom?
What's the name of the... Do I gotta look up Jason Bascom? Because I'm hearing about all these channels that I'm not about. No. Oh, Frog G? Okay. All right. Oh, he's on vacation. Is he buying a new hat?
I'm telling you guys right now, this shit starts at 8:00 p.m. Central. And you need to quit going to places that start at 8 p.m. and come over here because we have a fucking good time.
Hell
Every
yeah.
time. You need
Every
to go over
time.
to Peter's channel on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. because we have a fucking
my
rocking time
channel.
over there too.
Like yesterday, we had an amazing time talking about AI and
Fuller Destroyer.
Finding a book that was like, oh, this might have AI. Do I hate it? No, I actually still like it because it looks fucking cool.
It does. It looks awesome.
Tomorrow night, is it tomorrow night or next week?
It's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
And then we're off until the beginning of March.
Open mic.
Night, 8 p.m. Thursday, 8 p.m. Wednesday, 9 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. We're doing an open mic night for anybody, any creator that has some kind of project that they want to shill out. Come back and shill the fuck out of it.
Well, Mo Biggs, go check out last night's episode on my channel, Peter Orchard Studios. Comics Underground Live, number 15. We talked about some. Yeah. I never even thought about it. And then we were looking at it going, this might actually be an AI enhanced, but it's a question mark. So
that's cool. To be fair, I didn't even know this was a show. It just showed up in my feed and I opened it and all these peeps be here.
Hell yeah.
What we fucking do.
That's what we're talking about. Wednesday nights, go to my channel, Peter Orchard Studios. We talk about like random campaigns. We look at cool stuff. And then Thursdays, we're over here on Jake's channel. Fridays, every other week or so, we're doing open mic nights. So we got a lot going on. Mostly positive. You know, it's fun regardless.
Lunaverse says, you guys seem like honest people. I'd like to share my script with y'all at some point if it's wise.
I'm not going to blast it. If you don't want me to blast it,
we're not going to shit on it like we just did.
We're not going to like share it.
We're going to give pointers if we feel like something's a little off, but we're not going to bombard you with like, this is shit. We're going to be like, hey,
I'll give you honest critique.
This might work over here a bit more. Take this piece and put it over. We're just going to give you suggestions. We're not your fucking mom and dad. We're just here to help. That's what we do.
Well, you just got to sub. Did you sub to both of us or just
I just subbed you arseholes. Well, thank you kindly.
Thank you kindly. Go to Peter Orchard Studios and sub there too.
They won't blast as long as you hire Peter to draw it.
Yeah. I can draw good shit, man. I'm a really good artist. And I can draw hands. Yeah. That's why I'm about to be done with Fiverr, man. You know how many times I drew like $5 gigs?
Right.
And then I had to redraw them over and over again. And then I deliver these drawings over and over. And I'm just like, this is when I first started Fiverr and I just was like looking for side cash. And I was like drawing the same shit over and over again until it was perfect. And then I got my $5 reward. And I was like, I spent a week on that fucking drawing for $5.
Yeah.
And then my prices went up. And now I'm at the point where it's like, all right, my prices are high enough, but I'm open to like doing a custom thing.
Sure.
But my prices are high enough that I'm not going to get those fucking people anymore.
Oh, man. Mo Biggs dropped the ball. D-Wag got the link before he did.
Yeah, there it is. What's up, man? Thank you for posting that in there. It's fun. Man. Both our channels. It's not like, go subscribe to me. It's the same channel. It's just on my channel and his channel. We do the same thing. Little different premise, but it's the same conversation. It's always awesome.
Same show, different episode.
And last night was a little bit spicy, intriguing with the AI conversation. Yeah, Lunaverse was there last night. Checking it out. That's awesome.
Oh, man. I thank you all for being here with us and chilling with us and letting Peter finally get that off his chest.
I had to
that in a long time.
For over a year. I've been trying
a long time.
I've been nice, but there's a point, dude. There's a point where you're just like, I gotta clear my fucking name. I put a lot of work and effort into that friendship and that drawing and that comic, and it's like, this is what I get. This is how I get treated. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
All right. Appreciate you all being here. Of course, like, share, subscribe, but please like and subscribe because we enjoy having you here, and become part of the chat. Be a regular and give a shit like Mo does. Nobody does it like him, but I think somebody out there might be able to hang with him.
Tomorrow night, we'll be
Tomorrow
back.
night, 9 p.m., open mic. You're welcome. Come on out.
It'll be
We've
awesome.
actually had quite a few odd ones come out here that have actually been pretty cool.
Yeah, and if you think I'll be drinking tomorrow, it's Friday
That's
night,
fine.
Valentine's Day. I'm gonna be drinking tomorrow. It'll
Amen
be fun.
to that.
It'll be good. I'm not a complete asshole, but it'll be fun.
Check you later.
See you.